Yo! Welcome. Checking my audio real quick. How does everything sound? Hi everybody, welcome to the massive watch-along stream. An hour and a half early because I can't read. Seriously. Welcome to the stream, everybody. It's gonna be a really big one because obviously Games Workshop have to make the massive announcements about the thing that matters most in Warhammer. No, not the new edition. Video games! And I'm only half joking. Video games are a massive part of Warhammer and its continued success. I'm pretty sure that like more people have played Warhammer video games than have ever even caressed a single miniature. So I think these things are really super important. I don't often get to live stream them though, so I think we're gonna have a little bit of fun today. Although it is very early. Am I the only one who thinks it's very early? Hello everybody, welcome. Hi, Spurious Machinery, sup nerds? Accurately clocking who's here. Proud nerd. Audio check past winner. Thank you very much, Jammy Jam. Audio's gonna be a big deal because we will be watching alongside a stream today. Ooh, you get to get my live reactions, my live hot takes from them. Flame Lord says hello there. Well, hello there yourself. Dropping in like Obi-Wan Kenobi. Corey True Scott 683, it says, let's see some Dawn of War 4 and some Total Warhammer 40k. You get it, Corey. You get it. That's it. Yeah, I got some favorites today I'm looking forward to. I'm actually super hyped for this one. I know people are like, oh, Discourse, you're so negative. You're so filled with hate. Not today, baby. I am very excited. I love me some Dawn of War. For those who've been following the channel for a while know that I first got into Warhammer because of Dawn of War 1 back in the olden days of 2004. It felt very modern at the time. I still remember going home, getting the bus and flicking through the manual as I got the bus home, reading all these different factions. And even then I knew. I saw Space Marines, I was like, okay, that's kind of neat. I saw Eldar, I was like, okay, that's kind of neat. I saw Orcs, and I thought, okay, that's kind of neat. And then I saw Chaos Space Marines, and I was like, as a child, I said to myself, that's a bit lazy. Chaos Space Marines? Isn't that just Space Marines? The answer was yes, but who knew that at the time I liked Space Marines, but now my heart belongs to Chaos, so there you go. If anything, I think it should be Space Marines. Aren't they just Chaos Space Marines? How lazy. That should have been the attitude. But yes, yeah, Dawn of War, I'm so hyped for Dawn of War 4. There are some little niggles, there's some worries, some concerns, but we're here with an open mind. We're gonna check it out. I really can't wait to see what happens with the game. Oh, and I'll be honest, there's actually gonna be some heresy on this stream, people, because I've got some hot takes about the Dawn of War franchise that I think people are gonna dislike. I think they're gonna hate it, in fact, because I just can't help myself. You know, I just can't help myself. I really genuinely do believe this. I really believe this, but I don't think that Dawn of War 3 was the worst thing ever. I hated it at the time, but having gone back to play Dawn of War 3, you know, that game was salvageable. I think I think that game could have been fixed. It could have been a funner experience, because hey, they took a big swing and they missed because, God, at the time we were just so sick of MOBA-based designs. We can get into the history of it. We're gonna get into the history of it, let's be honest. We're gonna get into all the recriminations and hate, but for now, let's just be happy. I can't wait to see Bolt Gun 2, says FlameLord3677. I was a big fan of Bolt Gun 1. I really enjoyed it. I'm not like super into my boomer shooters. As someone who played Doom when it came out, you know, I thought it was okay at the time. I thought it was all right. I used to play it on my granddad's computer, but I don't really go back to them too much. But I do definitely prefer them to the sort of the 2000s, 2010s era shooters where, you know, you had regen and health and stuff. So I thought Bolt Gun 1 was pretty fun from that perspective. I thought it was an enjoyable experience. I'm not like super hyped for Bolt Gun 2 just because I feel like it's not a throwaway experience. I think the games are definitely fun, but I just think that it's like, I'm just into my strategy games. You know what I'm saying? I'm just really into my strategy games. And there's a lot of strategy games that we're probably going to see at this event. I haven't explained what this event is. So today we're going to be watching the Warhammer SKULLS live stream as it happens in Warhammer SKULLS. What happens is the Games Workshop will show us all the wondrous goodies that's happening for Warhammer this year. I think it's the next year of Warhammer games. So we're going to see some sneak peeks, some previews about stuff that's going to go down, some trailers, some announcements, etc, etc. I'm hopeful that we're gonna see some Dawn of War 4 content. I want to see some gameplay, people. I want to see a fucking game happen. I want to see orcs fighting space marines. Actually, like, I want to see the base building. I want to see the mechanics. I want to see it all happen. And I also want to see the new Warhammer 40k Total War. Holy heck, am I excited for that. Warhammer Fantasy, it cannot be expressed what a big deal the Total War games have been for Warhammer. How much of a massive beacon, a lighthouse they have been for people joining the war game hobby, but also being absolutely fantastic games. So my funnest games, I think I've got tens of thousands of hours in the Total War games. Certainly in Warhammer Fantasy. Maybe Total War Warhammer 3, the least, but Total War Warhammer 1 with I think it originally released with the dwarves and the orcs and the Empire. And I think it was... God, Petronia was like a little fake. You had orcs, dwarves, vampire cunts, and Empire and vampire cunts, yeah. I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to it. Christopher Hendry says, nothing wrong with being filled with hate. I agree. I mean, aren't we all Warhammer fans here? Aren't we? Don't we agree? Don't we agree that being filled with hate is the only way to go about things? It's the perfect way to run a government. I know that for sure. Ingvar Matson says, I spent more time painting 40k than playing 40k. I think that's probably true for most people. Like, I play a lot of games. I get this weird accusation. People say that I don't engage in the hobby at all, but I play a lot of Warhammer. And I've painted a lot more Warhammer 40k. Now, admittedly, I do collect Imperial Guard, so an infantry-based Imperial Guard army. So, you know, that takes up a lot of time painting. That takes up a lot of time, even with contrast paints. And Places as a Battle, mostly infantry-based. So, yeah, again. Genestealer Cults, mostly infantry-based. I play a lot of Horde armies. I'm a big fan of Horde armies. I love Horde armies, so I end up spending a lot of time painting, a lot of time batch painting. That's why my painting kind of sucks. Well, that and my inability to have skill, but mostly, I'm gonna say this, mostly because I just don't have the time, you know? I just don't have the time to be good. Yeah, we're gonna go with that excuse. It's not just intrinsic, just skill. I'm just bad. But my painting isn't amazing because I just love my speed paint techniques. I just want to try and get as many miniatures churned out as fast as humanly possible, but also not like a factory line, because I find that really boring. I hate kind of batch painting. So I try to do minimal batch painting, but fast techniques, so I can get models churned out when I can. But yeah, I think that I think most people paint than play, and I actually think that more people spend time playing Warhammer video games than they do play the game of Warhammer 40k. Because even though like the game of Warhammer 40k can take a while, it's still like something I think most people do like once every so often, as opposed to every single day. Hello there, El Rondorio. How's it going? Yes, Stonely, and proving my point, I didn't even read this before I said that, says, I've played more Warhammer video games than games of 10th. So, there you go. Okay, we're gonna go here. AIT Organcito 3374 says, hi, I'm just here for Darktide and you. That's awesome. Firstly, thank you. That's very kind of you to say. It's very kind. But also, Darktide rocks. I'm also here for Darktide. That is, I was saying about how I don't like shooters so much. I lied. I love Darktide. I fucking love it. Darktide is awesome. It's one of my favorite games. I think that they hit that. I think the guys over at, oh my god, they do Vermintide. They do Darktide. They have absolutely nailed the Warhammer 40k aesthetic in a way that I think even Games Workshop sometimes struggles to do so. I think they really went for that, like, Necromunda vibe, where you're in the hive and you're just surrounded by... Okay, so one of the things I love about Darktide that I've never seen happen really before in a Warhammer 40k thing, not just game, but like book or illustration or miniature, is in Darktide, all of the kind of like, you're fighting against a plague, a Nurgle cult, right? Inside the hive. And I've never seen that kind of just the average Joe in the world of Warhammer, right? An average Joe in a hive be depicted as interestingly as in Darktide. Because if you look at like a bunch of the kind of plague victims, they're wearing outfits and fashion from the 1980s of Britain, English England. You know, they're wearing like bomber jackets and stuff. And I never thought about this before, but that is such a cool representation of people in Warhammer 40k, right? Because this is when Warhammer 40k was being created by Rick Priestley and Brian Ansell. Thank you, Bron GH Caveman, for the $9.99 donation. Thank you very much. Bron says, for your trouble, one of these days I'll make another Bron GH Caveman video. Be excited. Be very excited, Ted. Thank you so much, Bron. I really do appreciate that. It's only thanks to your support that I can continue to keep this channel going. Because they hate me. Advertisers, they hate me. They're not big fans. But yeah, I absolutely love Darktide, and it's just, I think it's a fantastic game. I really do like it, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna see the next class for Darktide. I think that the original cast of characters that you could play as was fun. I loved like the Ogren. I really enjoyed the Guardsman, the vet. But then they released the Judge Dredd, the Adeptus Arbites, and I thought they were fine. They were cool. They were a bit of a pet class. They get like a doggy, and I thought that was all right. But then they got the Hive Scum, and I was like, yes, this is my jam. They released the Hive Scum, and I absolutely love the Hive Scum. This is like dual wielding, super fast. I'm gonna die if I stand still kind of character. Absolutely adore that sort of gameplay. So I played a ton of Darktide when the Hive Scum came out. Was really hyped for it. I know that a lot of people in the community were very disappointed because they were looking forward to the Skitarii. For some reason, everyone had gaslit themselves into thinking that the Skitarii would be a new class in Darktide. But it didn't happen. People were really annoyed. People were really upset, actually, that it wasn't Skitarii. And I think that because we're getting a new class today for Darktide, or at least very much the announcement of it, I think the new class is going to be Skitarii. I think it's going to be in response to all of the hate and anger. I think that they're going to be doing the Skitarii. What do you guys think? Bubba Help says Skitarii today. Yeah, there it is. I think it's happening, people. Free Key Fox says, not really an excuse. Anyone could be an amazing painter if they did it for long enough. Well, you'd think so. I've been painting for 20 years and I'm rubbish. I'm okay. I don't want to, I'm not like horrible. I mean, like, okay, you be the judge. I've got miniatures right here. Right in front of me. You be the judge, okay? You tell me. What do you think? Here is a little blackout model. Am I bad? We gotta do a poll. Let's do the poll. Let's do it. Why not? Am I a bad painter? Yes? No? It's okay. Okay, there we go. So here we go, right? Okay, exhibit number 1. All right, exhibit number 1. Here is my Harlow for Blackout. Awesome game. Blackout. Here is my Harlow, right? Speed painted. Took me about half an hour. I think that's okay. All right. That's one of my better ones. Okay. Now I'm gonna present to you one of my firefight models. This is, oh god, it's too big. That's what she said. She never said that. This is the, oh god, this is the Nihilitus Void Ray for the Night Stalkers in Firefight. This is just a nightmare creature. It like flies around. It's like a flyer. Let's see if I can zoom out a little. Let's zoom out a little. There we go. So that's what this looks like. Woo. It's weird. This is a weird one. It looks odd. Instead of a face, it has a nose. Do you notice that? It has like a nose instead of a face. What's going on there? These things are like nightmare monsters. On a similar vein, here is a terror. What do you think? This thing was remarkably easy to paint up. Good, bad? Yes, no? Ooh, look at that. Ugh. Ugh, that's gross. I'm looking at my own model going like, hey, what the heck? All right, so there's some, I think those guys are okay. Whoa, it's too far. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, technical difficulties. Technical difficulties. What do we think? Good or bad? Good or bad? All artists are their worst critics, says Freaky Fox. That's very true. We lost the stars, you guys. Oh, there we go. There we go. Dawn of War 4 versus Total War 40K. Oh. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Hey, look at that. The poll, everyone said, am I a bad painter? No. Thank you very much. It's okay. It's okay. I'm going to take that. I'm going to take the it's okay. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Just be fishing for compliments, really, at this stage. Sorry, I broke my camera. Oh, my battery's out. Hey, what the heck? My battery's out. What's going on here? My battery can't be out. Don't like this. Bad. Well, never mind. We're not gonna see any more. I think we should just end the poll now then. Just end it. Let's do it. Mike Wedger says, these are all sick, and a painter who paints is better than one who does not. Doing the art is by itself an achievement worth celebrating. I totally agree, Mike. I totally agree. Honestly, I'm just having a bit of fun. I don't really care if I'm good or bad. I love just getting miniatures that are painted onto the table and playing with them, and they can be like not really well executed. Like ultimately, a lot of these miniatures that I'm describing that I painted. Let's end it here. Let's end it here. I like this. A lot of these miniatures that I have painted, I just did it with contrast paint. Just threw some paints on, like those weird Night Stalker units, like the Terror and stuff. I literally just did slap chop. I just dry brushed them, threw on some Dreadful Visage contrast paint, and then put on some Black Templar for like the hardened carapace. And like that's it. That's all I did. It just turns out that way. I think that's fine. I think that's totally fine for like a game, and it looks way better than gray. And that's something I would recommend if you're somebody who was like who has bought a bunch of miniatures, who has bought some miniatures, and you're kind of intimidated by the painting process, or if you're like worried, you're like, oh, I don't really know if I just do like the easiest, simplest type of painting. Just get started, just get it painted, because I guarantee whatever you do, whatever you apply any amount of paint to a miniature, it will look better than unpainted. It really will. And I think it's awesome. I think it's really awesome. Mike Wedge says, showcasing my own miniatures to my students was a great motivator, so to someone else it could be inspiring. Well, I hope you get inspired. Honestly, I think that my minis look fine, and they really did not take long. I genuinely try to make sure that all my miniatures that I paint, I can get them done in an evening. So the little red guy I showed you from Blackout, the Harlow Force, they're Martians. I got those painted in like an evening. I got like 10 of them painted in an evening. Dr. Pleek says, referring to the Darktide class, I think people weren't so interested in the Hive Scum because you were already kind of playing Scum with playing a reject, and Hive Scum wasn't super interesting. Maybe it was more of a crazy medic type. I do get that. I feel like Darktide, you were kind of playing acolytes to an inquisitor, so you were playing as characters that were already to some extent scum in that way. But a lot of the classes, and this is the thing about Darktide, I'm pretty sure it's not Slither. It's not Slither, right? It's Slither don't do Darktide, do they? Somebody look that up, please. Tell me who's the devs behind Darktide. It's left my mind for some reason. But whoever was coming up with the class designs, I think that studio, I think they're really big fans of Warhammer, and I think they're specifically really big fans. This is very specific. They're specifically really big fans of Warhammer in the like 2000s, not modern Warhammer, but like 2000s era Warhammer, and you can see that in Vermintide and Darktide. With all of the classes in Darktide are references to the Dark Heresy role-playing game that came out, I think, in like 2007 in the 2000s. It was the first RPG that I ever played, Dark Heresy. That was the game where everybody plays acolytes underneath an inquisitor, and you're investigating corruption, and you know, you're investigating chaos and whether or not there's heretics running around or some sort of conspiracy to try and undermine the Imperium. You were doing all that, and occasionally you're bumping into other inquisitors and killing their dudes because like they had the wrong interpretation of the Imperial faith. So whenever Darktide came out, it came out with a bunch of classes that were sort of analogous to the classes in Dark Heresy. You had the veteran, who was basically the veteran guardsman, who was a class in Dark Heresy. So my memory might be a little bit fuzzy here. I haven't played Dark Heresy in like a decade, but still, just or actually, I played it recently, but I can't even remember the classes that much. The other classes were very similar. There was a Psyker class. There was a there wasn't an Ogren class, but an Ogren is a cool class. I'm gonna give it to them. The Ogren is a pretty neat class. There was also the, of course, the Preacher class as well, and I'm pretty sure there was a Priest class in Dark Heresy. Scum was a class in Dark Heresy. The actual character of Scum, that was a character class, and it's kind of like a rogue. You know, if you were to think of it like as a Dungeons and Dragons game, the Vet Guardsman is the fighter, the Scum is the rogue class, and I think they implemented that really well into Darktide. And I get that people were disappointed because they thought that it wasn't like distinctive enough, but I feel like in the game it has like a lot of distinctive qualities to it. Like I feel like this is people getting upset that you know, because there's a fighter, we can't have an assassin character. But I feel like the Scum does feel different. I don't know if it was whether or not they just didn't advertise it well enough as like it being super distinctive. But yeah, and I think that we're probably going to see Skitarii now for Darktide after the back of just the controversy of that. People really wanted Skitarii, which was a surprise to me because I never thought that the you know, the tech priests are kind of popular. But I never thought they were really that crazy popular. Now, Tech Priest is a class in Dark Heresy. There is a Tech Priest archetype, and I hope they go for Tech Priest as opposed to Skitarii. I hope, I like, personally, I don't really know the distinction that much. I just know of the aesthetics. I prefer the Tech Priest aesthetic to the Skitarii aesthetic, or a more spindly, kind of like Tumblr nerd sort of Tech Priest. Whereas Tech Priest, I always think of like old man in cloak. Jammy Jam Jam says, we paint for our own enjoyment as a hobby. At least you get things painted. I got hundreds of unpainted minis. One day. Yeah, you will get them painted one day. I've been working through my backlog for a really long time. Really long time, actually. 20 years of like just constantly acquiring more backlog for my backlog. Free Key Fox says, just primer and a few highlight details equals 100 times better than unpainted. I totally agree. I think that just any amount of paint at all, and it really can't just be that. I think that's why Slap Chop like really took off last year. It was last year, or was it the year before? I'm getting, things are fly by. Things are fly by me here. Tech Priests were great at Dark Heresy First Edition, really tanky, says Zukov's Boots. I never played a Tech Priest. I've seen them in play. I've never played one. I did usually gravitate towards the Scum kind of character because I am Scum. Take that out of context, why don't you? I really enjoyed playing the Scum class, and I honestly, I really enjoyed playing like kind of Interrogator as well, like the next rung down from an Inquisitor, kind of like a lick spittle, just trying to do what the Inquisitor wants in order to get a promotion. Oh, please, Inquisitor, please, we must have fun. The last time I played Dark Heresy, so I lied earlier when I said it's been like 10 years. It's been like 10 years since I've really engaged with it, but I did play a very short Dark Heresy game last year, and I played an Interrogator character who, I can't remember what the class was, but I played an Interrogator character based on Dara Miro from Andor, and that was a lot of fun. I got to look really sternly at people and put my hands behind my back a little and look disgusted at things. Fun fact, in that game, I got to shoot my way through a homeless charity. There was probably a cult in there, probably. It ended up there was a cult in there, so I was very much relieved at that after the fact. B4H4D4 says, did you get your Skulls box from Games Workshop yet? No, I did not. I'm pretty sure I'm on a blacklist. I've been blacklisted. They look at me illy whenever I go to Warhammer World. I have not been given any merch or anything for this. Flameboard is asking for a Battlefield-style Warhammer game, which would be awesome. I totally agree. What I always wanted, I don't even know if I want this anymore, but what I always wanted, at least like a decade ago, was a Warhammer MMO. I always wanted that. I loved Return of Reckoning. I love Warhammer Reckoning, the fantasy MMO. But I always wanted a Warhammer 40k MMO. And there was one that was being promised for a while, and it just kind of fell apart as time went on. And I was always really sad about that. I think that would have been cool. I feel like culturally, massively multiplayer online games are kind of dead now. I feel like they've come and gone as a sort of genre of choice, you know, in terms of the industry. So I don't think we're ever going to see a Warhammer 40k MMO. I'm not sure if I even want one anymore, but I would just love a game where I don't have to play as a Space Marine. Because I enjoy, like, look, I enjoy playing a Space Marine. I think it's fun. I think Warhammer Space Marine, the game, Space Marine, including the sequel, Warhammer Space Marine 2, I think that really nails the feeling of playing a Space Marine. You feel really strong and powerful and you go, roar! But I would just... I like Darktide because you're playing at like the human level, and I like playing at the human level in 40k because I find 40k as a setting is more interesting that way. I think it has more texture and I think it's scarier, and I like Warhammer when it's a bit of a horror game, you know, or whenever it's a horror experience. I like playing it because of that. I like feeling like, oh god, I'm gonna I could, like, a Tyranid could get me, you know, whereas in Space Marine you're like cutting your way through like thousands of Space Marines. But whatever happens at Skulls, I do think, interestingly, we're going to see a lot of orc stuff, not just Space Marines, because Games Workshop, they like to sort of obliquely tie in. They kind of tell, I think, their licensees, like all the people who have licensed Warhammer to make video games, they kind of say to them, orcs are going to be big in 11th edition. And I think that 11th edition's all about orcs, so a bunch of the new games are going to be orcs. Was it World of Warcraft supposed to be a Warhammer MMO, says King Force. I think you're confusing StarCraft there. There is a popular idiom, a popular talking point that StarCraft was originally being designed as a Warhammer 40k game. Or was it Warcraft was meant to be a Warhammer Fantasy game? Either way, I think that's wrong. I don't think that was true. I think it's just like something that people said a lot, but I don't think that Blizzard ever intended on StarCraft or Warcraft to be a Warhammer game. Maybe it was Warcraft 1 was like really in the deep. Now I'm doubting myself. Now, even as I say it. But World of Warcraft was never meant to be a Warhammer MMO. That was always going to be World of Warcraft. I still remember. Thank you for the subscription, Orc Mephiles. I still remember the like spread page on PC Gamer magazine in like 2002 of the advertisement for World of Warcraft. It sounded so magical. I wish I could go back. I'm not allowed to go back. El Rondorio says, just do like Brent from Gubertown and wear one of your fancy disguises. I should go as a pirate. I've got a good pirate. B4H4D4 says, I want Warhammer Online refreshed with today's graphics. That would make millions. You know, I think that Warhammer is definitely in a much more popular place today than it was in like 2008. I think that it definitely has the capacity to do so. Like, you look at Warhammer Space Marine 2 made like $1 bajillion, you know, which was crazy. Like, that's a crazy amount of money that they made, and I'm happy that they did. But wow, what an amount to make, right? So I could see an MMO doing well. I just think that MMOs in general are just not as popular anymore. People just don't play them so much anymore. To see what the RTS games, like, I'm kind of surprised that we're getting Dawn of War 4. I'm very happy we're getting Dawn of War 4, but I'm surprised that we're getting Dawn of War 4, because the RTS genre looked like it was dying there for a while, but it seems like it's kind of coming back a little bit. So maybe I did Little Big Wars right at the right time, you know, to grab all the nostalgic RTS fans for RTS games. Need to Sigmar MMO would be neat, says Freaky Fox. I was not a big fan of Age of Sigmar when it first came out. I was kind of a bit bitter that we had lost Warhammer Fantasy. I was a bit sad about that. But whenever we got the old world, it kind of like, it felt a little bit like bygones be bygones, and I started embracing a bit more of Age of Sigmar. I started getting into it a bit more, and I ended up kind of liking the world a bit more. I didn't like it at first, but I sort of got warmed up to it. And now I'm hearing that they're probably going to destroy it. I'm like, that, not again. Apparently they are making big changes to Warhammer Age of Sigmar setting. So I think that's rumored at the minute. So I guess we don't know. We won't know anything. I don't know if we're even going to see much Age of Sigmar stuff here at this one, to be honest. I think it's mostly going to be either Warhammer Fantasy or Warhammer 40k. I think that they are just trying to figure out what works with Age of Sigmar. They're trying to rein in the design scope for the game, because right now with its kind of different realities bashing into one another, I think people don't really connect with it as much. Space Marine 2 got me back into the franchise, says Miss 09 Dom HMT. Damn. It's a really cool spectacle. I feel like Space Marine 2 just looked really awesome. You had the trillions of turrets all scattering down. I thought that was really cool. I definitely think that. I think Warhammer, like I spoke to game stores, and they were saying that like with after Space Marine 2 came out, they were just selling miniatures through the roof. Like there were so many new people coming in. And that's why I love these events. Like I love Warhammer video games. I really do. I think that they are one of the big massive like totems that get people back into the hobby, you know, I think they get people into the hobby. I mean, because like I said at the beginning of the stream, this was true for me. This is how I got into Warhammer. I played a video game and thought, wow, this is really cool. And bear in mind, I've been walking past Games Workshop stores up to that point all my life. I've been looking at the miniatures and thinking, well, that's neat, but felt like it was kind of a bit, I was too scared to get into it. Now, maybe it's different today because you've got the internet and it's way easier to like Google things, but back then, there was an internet, but I wasn't on it, and I just looked at the game store and thought, wow, this is like really, this makes me, I'm too scared to go in, you know? I didn't feel particularly welcomed, so... You know, and it wasn't there, but it was just me like projecting onto like just see these miniatures, and they looked really cool, and I had no idea what it was about, and I'm just like, I'm scared, I can't go in there. But I played a video game and I was like, oh, that's what Warhammer is. This is what Warhammer is. This is really cool. This is really neat, and it exposed me to it. It got me into it, and then that got me to, you know, get the bravery to finally go into the game store. Bear in mind, I was young. I was like a child, okay, right? So before people were like, Discourse, too scared to go into a Games Workshop store. Well, I am these days, but. I used to always go in and come out of Games Workshop stores with miniatures. Less so these days because I know I can get discounts online, but I used to come out with paints these days. Freaky Fox says, I always saw Age of Sigmar as inspired by Magic the Gathering aesthetics. I never thought about it that way, but I think you're right. I'm not like super into my Magic the Gathering. The game was just always inherently a bit too gambly, a little bit too gambly for me, but I've been exposed to it. I've got friends who are like really big in the tournament scene of Magic the Gathering and stuff, so I get exposed to it a lot, and I can see that, yeah, because it's very like with Magic the Gathering, the setting of that one is like there's all these different realms. There's like Strixhaven, I don't know, there's like all these different like settings, and you've got the Planeswalkers, and they go from world to world or whatever. So I can see that. I think that it's kind of sad though, because I feel like the Magic the Gathering setting has sort of been undermined pretty substantially by the it's been undermined pretty substantially by the Universes Beyond that they do now, where they're like, oh, Magic the Gathering, forget about that shit, here's some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And everyone's like, we don't want this. And they're like, well, fuck you, here's the Doctor Who. That's the vibe I get looking in. That's the vibe I get looking in. Oh, Zugov's boots with the very controversial, very high-strung take of good riddance to bad rubbish. Fantasy outlasted Age of Sigmar after all. Well, I don't know about that. I think that there is enough space for both games, honestly. I think that Warhammer Fantasy is a really strong, really strong core. The thing I love about Warhammer Fantasy is that as a fictional setting, it feels like fantasy informed by history. Age of Sigmar, in contrast, feels like fantasy informed by like video games. It's more fantastical, it's more highfalutin than Age of Sigmar, or than Warhammer Fantasy, but I feel like there's space for both. I get like the anger about it. Like whenever Warhammer Fantasy felt like it was kind of just being culled to make way for Age of Sigmar, I think that felt kind of shit, but I don't think that I like Age of Sigmar, I think it's cool. Orchid Malphilus says, could you help remind me when the live stream is? In an hour, I believe? Yep, it is in 1 hour. It is in 1 hour. B4H4D4 says, I want to play as a Chosen again in Warhammer Online. The armor was so perfect. Bahada. Yes, I agree. The Chosen looks so awesome. I'm a big fan of the classic Chaos Warrior. In fact, I'm such a big fan of it. I think that Warhammer 40k, hot take, Warhammer 40k should lose Space Marines. I think we should get rid of Space Marines for the Loyalists, and only Chaos should have Space Marines. There we go, I said it, and I'm not afraid. That's my hot take. There you go, that's my change to the setting. I would kill the entire franchise by doing so, because all the Space Marine players would leave, but I think it would be cooler. I think it would give Chaos some teeth. I think Chaos would be more terrifying if they had Space Marines and the Imperium didn't. And if the sort of like main faction of the Imperium was the Imperial Guard and they were fighting against Chaos Space Marines, I think that would be cool. I think that would be really neat. The Space Marines are from a bygone age, you know, some bioengineered warriors that have not turned to the Dark Gods. Now you gotta fight them. I think that would be cool. I think that would be cool, but I don't think anybody wants that except for me. Spirit Smokey says, I think they're just gonna compress Age of Sigmar because it's just too much of a big formula soup for people. Like, you see Age of Sigmar fans and they just don't talk about the setting ever. And the licensed stuff for Age of Sigmar just doesn't, well, it doesn't do anything. It's nothing. Old Warhammer Fantasy still does massively better than Age of Sigmar on tie-in stuff like video games and so on. There's a couple of elements there. There's a couple of things to take on there. I think, firstly, Age of Sigmar does not perform as well, partly, I think, because the reason why why Warhammer Fantasy does so well is there is a big inbuilt audience of, like, 30-year-olds with disposable income who are nostalgic for Warhammer Fantasy, and nostalgia is a hell of a drug. People will buy the shit out of something if they're nostalgic for it, and I think a lot of people are nostalgic for Warhammer Fantasy, so they'll buy into it. And that's what happened with Total War Warhammer, right? Happens as well that Total War Warhammer is a great game, and also what's really handy is that Warhammer Fantasy also happens to be a fantastic setting, right? So this is all really handy. You're nostalgic for a great setting that then has a great video game, and I think it cannot be overstated how much Warhammer Total War was really a massive Kickstarter to get the Warhammer Fantasy kind of brand and IP going again. Before that, things looked really, really grim. They looked really grim, because I was there. I saw it with my own eyes. I was there, Gandalf! Cast it into the flames! Anyway, sorry. Warhammer Fantasy really felt like on its last legs. 6th edition Warhammer Fantasy had, like, according to Games Workshop, massively undersold. Games Workshop themselves were, like, at risk of collapse at any moment. So at the time, I understood why they were sort of culling Warhammer Fantasy. Was not a fan, did not like it, but I understood it. Then Warhammer Total War comes out, and it just absolutely springboarded excitement for Warhammer Fantasy again. Before that, you just never heard many people talk about Warhammer Fantasy outside of, like, some of the novels and things. Like, it was always Warhammer 40k. You know, the Beastman got a massive refresh in, like, 2010, I want to say, 2011, and no one cared. No one gave a shit. No one gave a shit. I liked it. I was a fan. I collect Beastmen. I liked it, but nobody cared. But then Warhammer Total War comes out, and bam, like, it just straight to the moon. And I remember that it was so cool, and people got really excited for it. And it was just at the time when Games Workshop was no longer selling Warhammer Fantasy. They just stopped. They moved all the Age of Sigmar, and suddenly you've got this huge interest in Warhammer again, in Warhammer Fantasy again. Hence the old world, right? Hence the old world. So it was only a very short time in the wilderness, all things considered. Like, looking back, you know, now that we know that Warhammer Fantasy comes back, it wasn't that long period of time between Warhammer Fantasy is dead, Warhammer Fantasy, you know, long live Warhammer Fantasy, it's back. Orchid says, respectfully, I don't really care as much for fantasy as I do for sci-fi. Not that Age of Sigmar is bad. I love their orc designs. Oh, so you like the more, like, Middle-earthy kind of orc designs. That's cool. I think that I'm just so attached to, like, the classic Warhammer design of orcs that whenever they tried anything different, I just felt instinctively like, no, it's wrong. Bahada says, I'm not a fan of the Total War games. They seem kind of boring. I think that Total War as a franchise has gotten a bit worse as time has gone on, which sucks to say. I used to love their games. Total War Shogun 2 was absolutely fantastic. Specifically, Fall of the Samurai was one of my favorite experiences. But I think as time has gone on, they've moved away from strategy in the sense of you've got to have armies with the right place, to instead move on to, like, this faction is really distinctive and it has a gimmick and you have to do the gimmick. And then you just paint the map red. You know, you paint the map your color. And I don't like that so much. I still play the games. I still have fun with them. I think the battles are still really cool. I'm just, like, overexposed. I've just played so much of it, I think, that I'm just a bit, like, over the gameplay loop, you know? But I think Total War is, like, one of my favorite, like, franchises for sure. Like, definitely. More Eldar now, says Busket or RVA. More Eldar, it's happening. Yeah, I think we could use some more Eldar. There's been no, Has there been any Eldar games that are not like a strategy game where you play as the faction? Has there been any game at all where you're actually playing an Eldar, right? Because Fire Warrior was kind of unique because you got to play as a TIE. And we haven't spoken about that, by the way. Where's my Fire Warrior sequel? I want to see Fire Warrior 2 today. That's what's going to happen. I want to see Fire Warrior 2. Let's make it happen. Let's gnash our teeth until we get it. Orkget says the 40k orcs feel very scrappy, Mad Max and vibes, which I just vibe with so much. Also great for DIY stuff. Yeah, I think that's awesome. I think orcs are definitely one of the more popular factions because of that. Orcs are just so cool. They have a, yeah, Mad Max style. I think that's always what's been really fun about them. They're kind of like a comedy faction to an extent, even if they can be terrifying from certain perspectives. I think that's neat. I think the setting really would miss orcs. They were like one of the first factions, I believe, that get depicted, right? They weren't as goofy, I think, at first, but as time went on, they got a little bit goofier. I think that's fun. Spurious Machinery says, I was there too and gave up Warhammer Fantasy Battles in 7th because they just didn't do the changes the game needed. It needed the equivalent of a 3rd edition Warhammer 40k revamp. 7th, 8th was, it was killed through failure. Yeah, I do remember the move. They moved to Warhammer Fantasy to, like, require way more infantry, and then they cut the infantry size boxes in half, so it just got so expensive, like too much. Like, people always say that, like, oh, Warhammer can just keep on going in price forever and ever and ever, and then people will always pay it. But like with Warhammer Fantasy, it kind of killed the game. Bahada says, fair enough, I do play a lot of games. I prefer RPG mainly, and Total War feels too slow or not personal enough for me. I mean, that's fair. Not every game is for everybody, for sure. Zukov's Boot says, vampire counts were cool, hold the different bloodlines for the vampires with different upgrades. I love the vampire counts. I think they're like my second favorite army in Warhammer Fantasy. I think Empire for sure is my #1, but then it goes vampire counts. I have been playing a lot of War Master lately. If anyone knows War Master, I've been playing a lot of War Master lately. Specifically War Master Revolution. And I bought 2 armies for that game. I bought Empire and I bought Dark Elves. I bought the Dark Elves because you need some friction. You need some kinky boys to be fighting against the Imperial lot. But I would have bought a Vampire Coast. I would have bought a Vampire Count army. If I could have. I just couldn't find a good bundle for them, but I could find some Dire Elves from Mighty Minis UK, and they were awesome. They look really cool. I'm a big fan of them, but I want the vampire counts. Although sometimes I wonder, like with undead factions that have like no ranged units at all, that it might get a little bit boring just being entirely melee. It's my same problem with Chaos. I'm a big fan of playing as Empire because you get everything. You get your halberds, you get your guns, you get your artillery, your cannon, you know, you get your big monsters, you get your priests, you kind of get a little bit of everything, and so it's very varied in terms of what you can bring to the table. So that's always really fun. Whereas vampire counts, it's like, I got a vampire and a bunch of undead, blah. Spirit says, War Master was Rick Priestley's best system. Genuinely, I would fight him over that. Then you might enjoy my next review, Spurious. I review War Master Revolution in my next Patreon video. So check out my Patreon if you want to see a big review of War Master. Bahada says, I just do not see the appeal of Empire. They look like clowns. They do not. They are majestic. Feathers? Come on. I don't even have any Empire. Well, here we go. This is the closest thing I've got. Here's my ogre mercenary for my Imperial force. You think that this guy looks silly? He looks incredible. Look at him. He's got a giant feather. He's got white gloves. He's got a big cloak. He's got little poofy pants. That's incredible. That's beautiful. It's majestic. I love the Empire. I love that Renaissance style. I much prefer it actually to the kind of grimdark medieval style, because I like the grimdark medieval style, but you see it in so many other games, whereas with Warhammer Fantasy it always felt like the humans were distinctive. They were distinct for them. El Rondorio says there was an Eldar game quite a while back, but I can't remember the name. Okay, so hello there, Lord Jav. Hello from San Antonio, Texas. Oh, let's see. Hold on. Let me do this. It's gonna happen. Let's go. I'm gonna type in a poll. Dawn of War. You can only pick one. You can only pick one. What are we looking forward to? Dawn of War 4, Total War Warhammer 40k. 2. Tech Priest Boogaloo. What games am I missing? Dawn of War 4, Total War Warhammer 40k, Darktide 2. What are we thinking? What are we thinking? You do not get enough. You only get 4 options in polls on YouTube. That sucks. I'll just have to type other. Explain in comments. So for those who have not played War Master, it is Warhammer Fantasy, but little tiny guys. Like, even smaller than usual. It's like 10 millimeter in scale. It's absolutely fantastic. I kind of adore it. I kind of adore it. Looks like people are looking forward to Total War Warhammer 40k and a very quick move in the lead. I completely agree. I completely agree. It's kind of I'm super hyped for it. There's a lot of stuff I'm super hyped for, though. Like, I really want to see more Dawn of War 4. Like I said, I want to see gameplay. I really want to see gameplay of Total War Warhammer 40k. That game, I didn't even think that game would ever come out. I thought that was an impossible thing, right? With Total War, the scope is so line infantry, and we'd only ever see, like, it's kind of wild that we're going from the latest time period being depicted in a Total War game as the 1800s Japan to now it's 40,000 years in the future. It's like, what a jump, you know? What a jump. And I remember that it was rumored, before the Total War Warhammer 40k reveal happened, it was rumored that Total War Warhammer 40k was in development, and people were like, it's impossible. But then actually, it was only a setup for Star Wars, that they were also working on a Star Wars game. And it's kind of funny, because it was being talked as if Total War Warhammer 40k was like the stepping stone. You know, Total War Warhammer 40k, it's gonna do okay, but then they're gonna do Star Wars Total War, and that's gonna be even bigger. And I don't think that's true. I actually think that, like, as a brand, Star Wars is in kind of a rough spot right now. Not a lot of excitement for Star Wars. Compare that to Warhammer 40k, I think way more people, certainly in terms of like the gamer demographic, I think will pick up a Total War Warhammer game than a Total War Star Wars game, honestly. I think that it's, especially for like a strategy game, it's not like it's Battlefield, you know? Although, I love Battlefront, I love Star Wars Battlefront, but I feel like a Warhammer Battlefront would do absolute gangbusters. I think that would do absolutely crazy, for sure. Patrick McCarty says, I'm sure the Total War Warhammer 40k game will be awesome. I agree. I think so too. Oh, wow. So it looks like what games people are most looking forward to is Dawn of War 4 is neck and neck, really, with Total War Warhammer 40k. There we go. Yeah, the rumor of 40k to Star Wars was the big news, says Mike Wickett. But I think that, like, Warhammer is almost like, not a bigger franchise. I'm not saying Warhammer is bigger than Star Wars, but I think the people who are interested in a Total War strategy game, I think there's more of them that would be interested in a Warhammer iteration of that than a Star Wars iteration of that. What do you think? Count Poro says, Disney flooded the market with Star Wars and wherever went out on it, kind of like what Marvel did. Yeah, I feel like it's just the inevitable, like, once a brand, like, you know, once a company gets an IP that they think will make money, they'll just do it over and over again until it stops making money and people get sick of it, which is kind of sad. It's kind of the antithesis of art. That's not what art is. Art is meant to be, you do something because you have something to say, not because you think big money go up. For sure. Star Wars fatigue, says Mark Newitt. Wolfie D wants a Gene Stealer called FMV game in the style of Night Trap plays. I am so down for that. Holy shit. That sounds awesome. That sounds really cool. Mike Reagan says that rumor was around before episode 9. That said, I saw the Mando today. It was pretty great. Well, I'm glad that was good. I haven't really been following, like, I've heard that box office wise, Mando's been doing pretty poorly. Not that that really super matters, for, like, you know, whether or not it's good or not. But I watched season 1 of The Mandalorian and I never watched any other season. So I feel like I can't watch the movie, which I think is like a big barrier to entry. So I'm gonna suspect that the movie doesn't do well because it kind of feels like homework. It feels like you need to have watched all the other stuff. Orchid says, I fatigue with almost any Disney brand. I got fatigue with every single Disney brand except for princesses. Where'd all the princesses go? Whatever happened to that? Where's all the princesses gone? Forbidden Star Wars board game Fantasy Flight was a great 40k board game, says Lord Jav. Okay, I don't think I've played that. No, I definitely haven't. Best Fantasy Flight game, though, and I say this as a lover of Arkham Horror, the card game, Battlestar Galactica. That was Fantasy Flight, right? Battlestar Galactica, the board game. Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Oh, looks like Total War Warhammer 40k is winning. Looks like it's winning the poll. So yeah, this is Warhammer SKULLS as an event. It's really big. I think this is gonna be I'm hoping that we get some really big reveals at the show. I've heard spicy takes that there is in fact going to be something really big and massive at the show. So while I'm looking forward to like all the game like that I've said about, I am hopeful that there's gonna be some stuff in here that just catches me by surprise, like a Warhammer Fantasy strategy game or something. That'd be neat. I'd be like, whoa, what the heck? An RTS Warhammer Fantasy game? What? What's going on? My big question though is, are we gonna see any Age of Sigmar stuff at all, or is this gonna be mostly Warhammer 40k? I don't know if we're gonna see any Age of Sigmar stuff. After Realms of Ruin, the RTS game for Age of Sigmar kind of bombed. And it really bombed. It did not perform well at all. Which, it was unfortunate because it was an RTS game that I think the gameplay wasn't great in, and also I just feel like the Age of Sigmar brand doesn't connect with a lot of people, like the setting. It just felt like it was like a really bad result of that. All coming together just meant that the game just did not perform well at all. And I think that's probably going to make people a little bit more wary of kind of adopting Age of Sigmar. And with Age of Sigmar possibly going through a big change, a big shift in its setting. I don't know if we're going to see any. All right, I got to take that as Total War Warhammer 40k. Absolutely killing it. Absolutely killing it. Patrick McCarty says, I just got the notification from Steam that Darktide is 75% off. I would recommend that game. That is a fun game. I don't like the cosmetics microtransaction model of it, but I do think that the actual game is absolutely fantastic. Really big fan. Really big fan of that. And it's kind of funny because we're talking a lot about the video games today. And I'm talking about how much, you know, I've been enjoying like different like Warhammer games, been really enjoying Darktide, really enjoyed Space Marine 2. But I will say that I haven't been playing a lot of the actual game of Warhammer 40k lately. I've actually been taking a bit of a break from Warhammer 40k, the actual war game lately. And I think it's partly because of 11th edition, really. I mean, whenever there's this period of time where a new edition is coming out, I always just feel like my enthusiasm to play the current edition kind of waxes, it kind of wanes a little. And it's weird that that's the case because, honestly, Warhammer 40k 11th edition doesn't feel very different from 40k 10th edition as far as I've seen. I think it's just the natural kind of result of being told, oh yeah, there's this new edition coming out and the rules are going to be tweaked slightly, that I'm just like, I'll just stop playing, I'll play something else then, you know? And that's kind of weird. That's kind of weird. Like, there is the new edition coming out, but this has been like possibly one of the most anemic launches I've seen in a while. I don't know, maybe this is just me, but I get this perspective that people don't seem as hyped for the new edition as much. I know that pre-orders are starting soon for like the Armageddon launch box for Warhammer 40k. I know that like some game stores have started already sending out emails, even though we still don't know the price point for sure. But in terms of hype, I just don't see it as much. What do people think? I just don't see the hype coming in as much. Pounce Cleveland says, the announcement, Games Workshop pulls a WotC. We're going completely digital. Oh, yeah, if you got an opinion on that, I've got a Dungeons and Discourse video coming out soon talking about that announcement, which is the worst thing that's ever been announced for Dungeons and Dragons. Not an exaggeration. Genuinely will absolutely destroy the entire hobby of role-playing games. Moving RPGs to subscription fees is one of the most horrible things that I could possibly imagine. And getting the entire Dungeons and Dragons community locked into a subscription fee will kill the RPG hobby absolutely fundamentally. And I've got a video coming out about this, all about it. But yeah, I'm boycotting. I'm boycotting D&D Beyond while this goes on. Absolutely outrageous. Orchid says I'm damn hyped. Me too. Okay, like I mean, look, I always look forward to new editions of Warhammer. Because I feel like they're always another opportunity for change. Like, I like to see how the game iterates. There's some certain things I would like to be iterated on. With 11th edition, though, it just feels like the least ambitious iteration of the kind of edition changes, you know? Laketa says, Games Workshop will go to the subscription model first. You rent your models and store per game, but don't worry, people playing at home cannot get in on the monthly bundle through the mail. Even I don't think Games Workshop are ever that crazy enough. They're happy to sell. Like, I mean, I know that every single company loves the subscription model, but I do think for Games Workshop that is Warhammer Plus. I don't think they will ever actually. I know you're exaggerating for fun, but Games Workshop will never ever do that at all. Like, their main selling is the miniatures. Like, they love selling the miniatures, and I guess it's actually kind of interesting because we've seen them come out recently with the announcement out of nowhere, by the way, that they're coming out with pre-painted terrain, to be bought and sold. Big fan of that? Yes or no? What do you think? Yeah, Games Workshop are going to be selling pre-painted terrain. I think because there was like a leak of it, and so they just came out with a release video. Now, that's kind of crazy to me. I never thought the Games Workshop would do pre-painted terrain at all. Like, at all. Now, I know that Archon Studios have been doing it for like a couple of years. Basically, they use like UV to burn on the colors onto the plastic sprue. And what that does is, when it comes to you, it's like, it's basically painted, like, and it's detailed painting too. It's not even like, oh, they're all brown or whatever. Like, there is a little bit of that, but like, they have like, you know, there's a green wire, a red wire, a blue wire, or for example, or like the screen has the little like little arrows on it and things like that. So I think that's really neat. That's really cool. I think they will make the game really accessible. It was really cool to see that Games Workshop are actually... I feel like that's more of an innovation than anything else we've seen for 11th edition. I think that's a massive innovation for sure for Warhammer. I think it's going to make it so much easier for people to get tables of terrain, especially for like tournament organizers and stuff, you know? Lizard King says, I really hope that Critical Role Darrington Press can stay out of the subscription model. If they can break their loyalty to D&D and Wizards of the Coast, they might be able to save the hobby from subscription fees. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, like, so obviously Critical Role have their beacon show, their beacon like website, I guess. It's kind of their platform for all their streams and, you know, their little shows that they do and stuff like that. It's kind of like their Warhammer Plus, really. And I think that's fine. That feels like a Patreon almost. That feels like a Patreon with exclusive membership. It's not like it's super pricey, but yeah, like D&D moving the subscription fees is really scary, and it's really scary. Like it genuinely really disturbs me, and I think it's just the antithesis of everything that the RPG hobby should be about. The idea of like raising this barrier to entry of like needing a subscription fee to play a game is just crazy to me. And that you don't even own your books anymore, you know? That you're gonna have to rent all your content from Hasbro. It's just I can't even I find it really hard to express this. It's the antithesis of everything that I love, okay? Like, the idea that you would have to rent your content out. And if you stop paying your subscription fee, you lose access to all your characters and content, all your abilities and powers and everything you've bought. It's just crazy. You know, at least with a book, whenever you buy a book, you can take it down from your bookshelf and you can share it with your friends. But these subscription drops are going to be lost if you stop paying for it. You cannot share them with anybody. You have to keep paying to play it. And good luck, by the way, if you're like somebody who's interested in other games, if you're like trying to get someone into playing Dark Heresy, good luck trying to get any D&D player into those games, because they're going to be paying a subscription fee every single month. And how many people were playing World of Warcraft and were like, oh yeah, let's play this new MMO, and stuck with that other MMO. No, they go back. They get locked in by the subscription fee. It's absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Huge step done. I don't think Games Workshop will ever do anything like this, honestly. I think that this is like crazy even for them. I think Games Workshop understand that their core model is sell miniatures at high price, and they don't really want to disrupt that at any stage. And it's kind of like with this pre-painted terrain, I think they're going to use that as an excuse to sell more expensive terrain, but I don't think they're going to do pre-painted models, because I think that they view the hobby experience, the sort of ecosystem of buying your paints and your glue and stuff, as really core integral to the experience of the wargaming hobby, to Warhammer. And so I don't think they'll ever kind of go that far, honestly. But I don't think they'd really do pre-painted terrain either. So maybe I'm wrong there. I can't support Hasbro at all, says Bucket RVA. Yeah, it's too much. It's just crazy. Like, if you think Games Workshop are bad, Hasbro are just a million. Like, they're so horrible. Bahada says, you seen the prices of the new Defiler? Here in Australia, that's half of someone's bloody rent. Hey, could be worse. You'd be giving over your firstborn. Huh? Yeah, Australia gets absolutely slammed with prices. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Mike Wiggy says, I'm perfectly happy for pre-painted terrain so long as the unpainted stuff continues to be made. Yeah, I think release both, you know? Release sprues that are unpainted, release sprues that are painted. I think terrain's one of those things where most people, honestly, I love pre-painted terrain because I just don't care for painting terrain that much. And especially with Games Workshop, terrain is sort of a, like, it's kind of like a sideshow, you know? Like, for them, like, the miniatures are the thing. All right, we're just, I'm just gonna double check this. Make sure this is, okay, so we're waiting for the Warhammer stream to go live. We're waiting for the Warhammer stream to go live, and it is not live, so we're gonna go back. If Games Workshop shareholders put pressure on the company, they'll introduce more digital gatekeeping. I think they will, for sure. A lot of people bought Games Workshop stock. The stock price has gone up crazy, and that has some, like, deleterious effects on the game of Warhammer. Because, for example, if they have a really good year in, say, Warhammer Fantasy, and they sell a lot of models, and they don't have the production capacity for Warhammer Fantasy, they'll just not sell, like, they'll not do anything new for Warhammer Fantasy because they don't want this year to be, like, too chock full of releases that then next year they can't replicate the same number of sales, because every single year they need to be showing that they're increasing the revenue. Every single department has to constantly be increasing revenue, and so that's really dangerous because it creates this, like, cycle of absolutely, this year must be the best, this year must be better than last year, this year must be better than last year, and it is having an impact. We've seen with Warhammer 40k already. I think part of the reason why hype is lower for 11th edition than 10th edition is because whenever 10th edition came out, it was a big deal that there was a massive bundle box with all these miniatures and you were making loads of savings, right? It was huge. Leviathan box is like, wow, we're gonna get all these Space Marines and all these Tyranids. Like, this is crazy. But what happened during 10th edition? Every single month, there's a new bundle that is coming out now. Whenever a faction gets a codex, a bundle comes out. Games Workshop have become addicted to the hype cycle, where every single time there is a release, there must also become this massive bundle box. Bundles used to be rare. Now, I like bundles. I think they're good because they can create savings, but I don't think it's healthy to have the entire game based on the fact that, like, there has to be a giant bundle that is limited edition, that is limited to order. You cannot buy it later on. You have to be, like, the first in line. And yes, for Games Workshop, whenever they sell these big bundles, they always sell out. So Games Workshop are making tons of money off the back of them. But the result is that this hype cycle has made it so that now, when there's a new edition coming out, it doesn't feel like a big deal. Games Workshop have sold the absolute shit out of bundles for every single faction. Now there's, like, the Armageddon box. People are like, oh, okay, it's another bundle. That's not the case. Games Workshop, like, used to, like, a new edition used to be, like, the best year ever for Games Workshop. And I'm hearing things like, for example, there's stores where whenever 10th edition came out in Leviathan, the launch box for 10th edition was being sold in those stores. People were pre-ordering like 240 boxes. I'm hearing numbers like 10 now, you know? Like, this is they've really, I think, made a misstep here with 11th edition. Now, the jury's out as we get closer to the release date of 11th edition. It hasn't even been announced what release date is, but it's gonna be June. Whenever we start getting closer to the release date of 11th edition, I guess we'll see. But I suspect that there's going to be a lot of boxes sitting around of 11th edition. I do not think that this is going to be a difficult, like, I don't think it's going to be a limited box in the sense that there's just going to be way too many of them. And not even because, like, with Leviathan, Games Workshop printed the absolute shit out of them. I think Games Workshop are going to print the absolute shit out of Armageddon, and there's just not going to be as many buyers of the box as 10th edition. Partly also to do with the fact that I think 10th edition was just at this, like, peak of, like, people getting into Warhammer. Count Poro says, Games Workshop are using FOMO as a weapon to constantly boost sales. I totally agreed. And it has a bad impact, you know? It's like, it's good short term in the sense that it makes loads of money, but long term, you know, people get inured to it. People get inured to it. Like, once you miss one, you're like, I'm off the cycle now, screw it. When does SKULLS start again? SKULLS will start in 25 minutes. I'm keeping an eye on the website. I'm keeping an eye on it. I'm keeping an eye on it. Critical Role is great, but I feel the Glass Cannon Network will be the live TTRPG that will move the hobby forward, says Lord Jav. I'm a big fan of Glass Cannon. I'm actually in a game with one of the members of Glass Cannon, like a private game. Not that kind of private game. I'm in a Delta Green game with one of them, and they are absolutely lovely. I'm a big fan of Glass Cannon. Poro says, I'm not excited about the amount of stuff in Armageddon box. Too many characters, not enough units. I agree. I feel like there should have been like double the amount of orcs. I feel like orcs they're a horde army, and there's almost as much orcs as there are space marines in that box, which is kind of weird. 240 euros for the 11th edition box is a mental price. Is that the official price, Heat Guy? Has it been announced? Armageddon box I'm Googling this. I'm Googling it right now. Armageddon box price. Expected to launch for $280 to $300. Yeah. If GW Top Brass concoct a way to increase profits by discontinuing the manufacture and sale of paints and pots, then you may see pre-painted miniatures. More expensive minis, naturally, says El Rondorio. I don't think we'll ever see that. Okay, never say never, right? I could see maybe at some stage down the line, we might see, like, you know, like limited edition models or kind of models that are sold more in kind of comic book stores and things like that, like nerd stores than miniature stores. I could kind of see that, and they'd be sold a little bit like the McFarlane sort of statues. I could see that a little, because I know that McFarlane does they do the like pre-painted and paintable version. Like there's a version where you can paint it, or there's a version that comes pre-painted. They're both the same price though, as far as I'm aware. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it's so undercuts like the entire hobby of wargaming to do that. It would be a bit crazy. Mike Wake says, gotta call it a night. Hope the reveal show delivers what you're all after. I hope so too. Good night, Mike. I really hope so too. I want it all. Thought it was gonna be June 20th, says Busket. I don't think that there has been an announcement of the date yet that Armageddon is coming out. Games Workshop will end up pricing out new players with these prices, says Mark Newitt. I agree. I think that I'm really concerned that there's going to be another price rise this year, which would really suck. I don't know. Usually they do it just before a new edition, though. Or in December. So maybe they will make the announcement in the Christmas time, winter period, which really sucks. Like Games Workshop already have a massive margin in their miniatures, so for them to just not eat the cost of any increases. Like, I know inflation's been pretty crazy, but I think that's pretty wild. I think that more price rises would really hurt the game for sure. Like even the Armageddon box set being like sort of increase in price, and it having less minis and a worse book, you know, like they don't have a hardback book or anything in it. I feel like the value is just lower. The fact that the price is up, I think, is just kind of rough. Because when did 10th edition come out? Came out in like 2023, so it's like literally 3 years, or was it 2022? No, it was. It's really only been 3 years. That's crazy. Patrick says, I think GW has priced me out of another one of their games. You've been priced out of Warhammer 40k. I can see that. I find Warhammer 40k like almost impossible to keep up with now. It's why I've been playing a bunch of like Firefight. I bought the Night Stalker force for like £50, and that was pretty much my entire army. And I just thought, like, wow, the the difference between the Firefight box set and the Warhammer like bundles are it's just wild, you know, for what you get. It's been exactly 3 years, almost to the day, says Slacker. That's crazy. Armageddon has less minis than Indominus, which was £200, and no hardcover big box, and will still be like $50 more. Yeah, Warhammer prices, they never go down, do they? They never go down. Mark Newt says, I've gone backwards. I got a full unpainted full of Black Reach set for £60. Nice. Black Reach that was one of my favorite starter sets. I got into Warhammer, I think, and then Black Reach came out. I remember Black Reach coming out, and it was just the first big starter set that I'd ever encountered. Wow, what a game. I loved Black Reach, and it was filled with orcs. It was filled with orcs as well. I still got all those orcs. They're still like my little tiny army that Nikhila can. Every time I try to get in, they price me back out, says Patrick Benjamin. That's rough. What a fellow Warhammers. Yeah, we're just waiting for the Warhammer Skulls stream to start, and it's gonna be starting in like 20 minutes or so. So it's gonna be good. We've been talking about what we're so excited for, and I think most people now are excited for the Warhammer 40k Total War Warhammer game, and I am definitely one of them. One of the things I'm just really nervous about what they can actually do with with Warhammer 40k in the Total War setting. Honestly, I'm nervous about it because I just feel like for a lot of Warhammer, with a lot of Total War games, it's very focused on line infantry, kind of lining up, moving across the field. And okay, Warhammer 40k, you're playing it on a tabletop. I'm worried that we're gonna see all the infantry, like the guardsman squads, all be lined up, and I just don't think that's gonna look very good. Whereas it should be more clumpy. Well, actually, it will look okay for the Imperial Guard, specifically Morty and Iron Guard, but I think for Space Marines, it'll look really weird if they're all like in lines the way the Total War Warhammer does it. Or like any Total War game, because it made sense from those when they were, you know, blocks of infantry, which was how historical forces would fight, you know, depending on the time period. But with like Warhammer 40k, I think with like a squad of Space Marines, you shouldn't have like 30 Space Marines in a big line, in a big block. They're gonna need to be clumpy up, like in squads and stuff. So I hope that they are. I know they are. They gotta be cognizant of that, right? If you want good and less expensive proxies for Games Workshop games, take a look at the stuff from Wargames Atlantic, says Ponce Cleveland. I'm a big fan of Wargames Atlantic. I think a lot of their stuff is really cool. Really cool. I've tried most of their sets. I think they're awesome. Come with tons of customization and with really good hard plastic sculpts that are, you know, kind of designed to be proxies. They're kind of designed to be proxies. I have all my Catachan are all from Wargames Atlantic. They're by Reptile. Yeah. I've gone backwards. I got a full. Yeah. Ooh. I'm not excited by Armageddon. Too many characters, not enough units. I want to go back to this because I feel like my last video was about how there's going to be a lot more focus on characters in 11th edition. I'm not a big fan of that. But I just think it's a real shame that the orc grunts in the Armageddon box set are... There's as many orcs in that box as there are Space Marines, and I think that's absolutely criminal. I think that for a horde faction like orcs, there should have been double the amount of units in there. And I feel to see like how it would have raised the price of the box in any sort of meaningful way, really. I think it was just they don't have enough customization for the orcs to really justify more than 2 squads. Or at the very least, I think there could have been like I think the orc box is kind of missing. I think the orc side is missing like a knob squad. Because I love my knob. Oh, I can't get enough knob. Sure love knobs. But yeah, no, like I really do. I think like a knob squad or something, some sort of elite force. Because right now, I feel like if you're gonna be one of those people that buy the box set, I think a lot of kids do this. They get the launch box, and then they pit the forces inside the box against one another, against the, you know, so it will be orcs versus Space Marines. I just can't see how the orcs will be able to like stand up to the Space Marines, like because it's gonna be night and day. In terms of the factions, they're just gonna get absolutely creamed. Absolutely creamed. I was really lucky. My brother gifted me a smaller 3D printer last Christmas, so once I finish my models, who knows when, I won't have to buy more, says Dr. Plague. The 3D printer dream has happened. Oh, yes. You live in the dream, dude. I don't have a 3D printer. Well, I've got Bamboo Lab FDM printers, but I do not have a resin 3D printer. I don't have the space for it. And I wish I could get one because there's so many miniatures out there that are absolutely awesome. There really are. I really do feel like it is the dream. And I think that the kind of difficulty of setting it up and performing, and using it, I think is a little bit overrated. The only model I care about from Armageddon is the land speeder, says Slacker at Large. That's fair. That's fair. I do love the land speeder. I'm a big fan of the land speeder. I do feel like the storm speeder, though, has completely kind of overtaken it in terms of the aesthetic. I don't like the bubbles smoke on the Armageddon stuff. It doesn't look good, says Mark Newent. I think I know what you mean. I'm not the biggest fan of the smoke effects either from Games Workshop. It always feels really like cartoony almost. Teskis asks, are you printing with a 0.4 or 0.2 nozzle in your bamboo? I am printing with a 0.4 for terrain and 0.2 for like miniatures, for like infantry and things. So that's how I do it. I've got an A1 mini that I use for my miniatures that has a 0.2 nozzle. Because you can just get like so much more detail. The detailing is just so much nicer. This model actually that I was showing off earlier is 3D printed with a Bamboo Lab mini. This is 3D print. This is not a plastic or resin. This was printed on a Bamboo Lab 0.2 nozzle, and it looks pretty good. Unfortunately, I can't. My camera broke, so I'll need to look at that later. Curses. I was gonna show you off some I was gonna show off some of the minis I've been painting. Some of my blackout. Some of my blackout minis. Look at this guy. Reminds me of the Robocop mini. Is this a little bit BattleTechy? This is a blackout mini from the UN Reserve. Yeah. I wanted to show them to you, but unfortunately my camera broke. So I'll have to fix that somehow. Resin is not that hard to use as long as you can vent the fumes, says Daryl. I cannot vent the fume, Daryl. I cannot vent the fumes. So I will die from it. Some people are crazy. Some people just exist around 3D printers and they don't care about the fumes, and that is dangerous. You should be really worried about the fumes from 3D printing. But yeah, I've got nowhere to vent it to. I've got a room where my FDM printers go, but the fumes from that aren't as bad as far as I'm aware. Sucks everything is doom and gloomy with 40k. I print what I want, but building off sprues is fun to do as well. I love building sprues. I feel like not everything is doom and gloom about 40k. I think that there are elements that are fun. Like, I think that a lot of the miniatures design are really good. I think that the miniatures that Games Workshop are turning out are some of the best minis that they've ever done. I think that the pre-painted terrain sounds really cool. I just think that the gameplay of Warhammer is getting a bit like rough. Everything about the game right now, I'm really worried about 11th edition. Like, I'm really worried about 11th edition. I think it's going to be really rough on shooty factions. We haven't seen all of the rules yet, but everything I have seen is telling me that it's going to be kind of rough. Oh, here we go. Let's go to browser. I need to line this up a little so we can get it all. So we can get the entire screen in. There we go. I gotta resize it. Hold on. Let me make it a little bit smaller. There we go. Hey, I got it. I got the entire thing in. Woohoo! I fixed it. Haha. Excellent. Phil Urbiank says, "What's up, fellow Warhammerers?" Hello there, Phil. Hello there, Phil. I like the idea of pre-painted terrain. I hate painting terrain, says Kamporo. I absolutely detest painting terrain. I like it whenever you can just dry brush it. You can just dry brush it, throw on a slap of paint, and just be done with it. I mean, that's how I paint my models. So I don't mind it that much, but I don't have fun. It doesn't spark joy in me painting terrain. And my ambitions for terrain are always much greater than my ability to actually paint it. Let's get me a little bit smaller here. I don't want to take up all the real estate here. I want to be like that. There we go. Is that good? How are we looking? Are we looking good? Are we looking good? We're getting all set up. I think there's still another like 5 minutes or something like that before everything starts. It's starting soon, so we're getting ready. Kel says, suit them on your discard. Also, YOLO printer fumes, says Kel. Just huff some fumes. I've always been a fan of huffing fumes. I've always said, huff some fumes, for sure. Oh god, no. If you squint, it looks like Marvel. Uh-oh. That's gonna be the big announcement. It's gonna be the Warhammer 40k cinematic universe. Hey! There's no way we see anything about the about the Amazon show here, is there? There's no way. This is gonna be video games only. There is no way that we get some Henry Cavill dropped in. Ooh. Definitely not, right? I feel like the SKULLS showcase is at a really weird time. It feels really early for me. Like even on the stream, you can see. I feel like it's just very early. It's like it's coming up to 5 p.m. in the UK on a weekday. I think if it had been a Saturday, it would have been a bit better. Would have had a Saturday afternoon. Why would you buy terrain when you have a printer? Says Daryl Lamb. I am not going to buy terrain. I love my 3D printer. I absolutely adore it. There is an affiliate link to Bamboo Labs in my description feed. I suggest you click it. I absolutely love my 3D printer. I really do. It's genuinely transformed my ability. Like I used to play with like books and like random just things found around the house as terrain. This has completely changed that. The 3D printer means that I can just have anything I want. Like right now I'm printing an obelisk. For my night crawlers, my night stalkers in Firefight. I'm trying to create a war game table that's like a space colony that's come across an ancient monolith and aliens have been awoken, you know? I'm trying to do like a horror kind of like table at the minute. And that just would not be feasible if it wasn't for the printer. If it was not for the 3D printer. I absolutely love 3D printing. And honestly, it's really easy too. With the FDM is really easy. I think resin, there's a bit more to it. But it's definitely like it's fine. I think it gets overblown how difficult it is. People call it like an entirely new hobby. I think that if you're someone who can do like wargaming, it's not much. It's pretty on par with wargaming in terms of its complicated nature. Maybe a bit less so if you're playing lots of different games or reading lots of different books. Terrain making and painting is the most pure art of this hobby, says Spurious Machinery. You are probably correct. I think that there is a lot of crafty kind of building that you can get from terrain. I've seen some pieces of terrain that are absolutely incredible that people have just spent a lot of time doing. There's a content creator called 52 Miniatures who did a really cool looking World War I table that I just thought was absolutely really interesting. He just spent so much time just doing every single portion of the table, and I was really impressed by it. Likewise, if you look at people like Lackey, Zorbasort Miniatures, he does like Middle Earth tables that are just absolutely incredible. And yeah, I think that they're like the most crafty. I think they're like the hardest part of the hobby, honestly, for me. Okay, maybe like painting miniatures to like, you know, Golden Demon's quality level is probably a little bit harder, maybe. But I don't know. I find terrain. I do agree with you, Spurious, that terrain making is like one of the most artsy part of the hobby for sure. One of the most crafty. But I don't have a hot wire tool or anything, so it's really hard. I just don't. I don't know. I don't really enjoy making terrain that much. I never really did very well at like shop, I think is what the Americans would call it, shop at school. Universes Beyond, says JC Huntsman as he hunts my dreams. Universes Beyond 40k. I will say for Games Workshop, that will never happen. They're never gonna do a Universes Beyond. You know, like with Hasbro thing. No, like, hold on, now, I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it. They're not gonna do Universes Beyond. There's no way they would put another IP into a Warhammer game. There is no way. Because to Games Workshop, the IP is like their most profitable. It's the thing that they have, right? Games Workshop really, I think they view themselves as a miniature company, but they're on a very second level. They're an IP company. They sell Warhammer video game stuff, you know? And soon movies and TV shows, maybe, if the Amazon show does well. So I don't think that they're gonna start putting other people's IPs into Warhammer. I think Warhammer's gonna start showing up in other things, like, you know, like Magic the Gathering. But wow, you made me think for a second, like, what would it, imagine, you know? I don't know what's coming out. If there was like a Captain America miniature for Warhammer, there's no way they would ever do that, you know? If there was like a new Captain America movie coming out, or like a new Star Wars movie was coming, it was a little bit like that as well. It had a pretty coherent set. And now Dungeons and Dragons as well is getting Universes Beyond. According to Hasbro, they've recently just announced it. Oh, shit. Okay. I gotta stop the music. Here we go. It's happening. It's happening.
The war world.
Oh. Okay. This is just the trailer for Armageddon 11th edition. Okay, how are we looking? How is the audio? Let me know, how's the audio doing? Is the audio okay? Here we go. Here we go. 240 seconds. Which guy is Warhammer? It's him on the far left. That guy.
A cacophony of endings.
Which guy is the Warhammer? Woo! Get hyped, people. All right, let's see. Come on. All right. Dawn of War 4. Dawn of War 4. Dawn of War Warhammer 40K. Show me gameplay and my soul is yours. I want to see the gameplay. I'm hyped for it. I'm really hyped for it. Woo! All right, I'm really excited. Age of the Emperor, says Retro Gamer. I'm genuinely, there's a lot of stuff here. I'm not sure what we'll even see. This is like 15 minutes long, so strap in, people. This is gonna be a long one. There's a lot of stuff they're gonna be showing off today. There's a lot of stuff they're gonna be showing. So I am excited. I thought this trailer was okay. I thought this trailer was alright. I wasn't like the biggest fan. I actually preferred the Leviathan trailer to the Armageddon trailer. I prefer the Leviathan one, honestly. I love my orcs, but the Leviathan one was scary, dude. Although I will say, I think out of all of them, hot take, I liked the Age of Sigmar one. I like the Age of Sigmar last trailer with the Skaven. The Skaven were cool as heck in them.
World must hold.
You gotta love a little bit of flesh squelching. Gotta love that.
There can be no mercy.
I'm fully prepared to be disappointed over no Blood Bowl news, says Earwig. All I want in Blood Bowl is my Snotlings. I just want a Snotlings team. Give me Snotlings or give me death. It's all I want. Yes, Warhammer 40K. Armageddon. Assembly required. Dramatic music fades out. Yeah, okay, so it is 100% June 2026. 100%. They never have Blood Bowl news. Wait, is this just this over and over again? Or is this like, oh, this is the Space Marine part? Yeah. Wait, it's the orcs. Wait, that was the orc bit? Okay, I thought they were gonna do one faction and the other faction. And so the hype trailer for the orcs started with an orc getting his head smashed in by a Space Marine. Would have been a bit lame, although they kind of did that with Dawn of War 4. They recently showed off a big stream. It was meant to hype up the orc faction, and it started with like the orcs just getting absolutely destroyed by Space Marines. You're like, ah! This isn't cool for the orcs, what the hell? I think this model is good. I think the big boss looks kind of cool. That is the big boss, right? Not the war boss. They're very, like, I feel like both of them are the same idea. Snotlings could bring me into Blood Bowl, says Patrick Benjamin. Snotling, yeah, I didn't enjoy Blood Bowl until I found Snotlings. And then I was like, these are my people. Here we go. Get that hype. Oh, look how sexy that Sigmarine is. Did you see how slim he was? Oh my god, he's like a little twink. Little twink Sigmarine. Yes. Show me the skulls.
Hello, Warhammer fans! I'm Alana Pierce, the voice.
I like that movie the first time I saw it in StarCraft 20 years ago. Love you, Discourse. Fight the good fight and go down like Katie, says Heliodorus. Thank you very much for the $10 donation. I really appreciate that. Much love. Thank you.
Personally, very excited about, but also because this is a birthday celebration. Warhammer Skulls is back for its 10th year.
This is 10 years of
What
Warhammer
originally started as
Skulls?
a platform sale has grown into the #1 place to see world premieres and exclusive reveals
Wild.
for Warhammer video games, and of course, starting right now, you can enjoy a week-long promotion across a wide range of Warhammer video games on the platform of your choice. So,
Seals.
sit back, get comfortable, and get ready to immerse yourself in the latest and greatest from Warhammer video games, starting with the amazing team at Owlcat. Let's jump
Owlcat.
in.
Ooh. Oh, yes. I forgot about this one. The Tech Marine game. Oh, no. This is going to be Inquisitor, right? Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
God Emperor, I beseech thee, lead us to the final reckoning.
Rogue Trader
and
was cool.
exact our
The
worth
CRPG.
through thy trials.
Dark Heresy's where it's
God
at.
Emperor, I beseech thee,
Knife fights in the arena.
inflame our souls to burn away the taint of doubt.
Skulls is kind of
We
quiet.
offer up all that we are, all that we do, and all that we endure.
I can turn it up a little.
Challenge thy faithful to go beyond our limits in pursuit of thy will. Tell
Oh!
us through the inferno that cleanses
Oh
and
man, a lot of
shapes
crit.
us.
I know that
And arm
Owlcat like
our
to do
thought
a lot
against
of different
all
factions.
that is foul and vile
just-
to humanity.
Not, you know, not just chaos
Let
again.
us not rest
cool to see
in
crude
false
stuff.
pretense of righteousness. For duty
Ugh.
ends only in death. We will smite humanity's foes.
Wait, is that a
in
crit on the side of
exaltation
the
thee,
Inquisitor? Interesting.
seeking ever elusive redemption.
What if that's gonna be a class?
For innocence proves.
Yeah, it looks like a little Kroot guy. And an Eldar. I know there was like an Eldar in the Rogue Trader one. Or an Orc or something. Rogue Trader was incredible, but like 30 hours too long. There. Wait, Dark Heresy. Art book. Oh, this is gonna be like the premium limited edition. Okay. They should have re-released the RPG alongside this game, I think. That would have been cool. A statue. Why didn't they do a miniature? Why didn't they do a miniature of this little guy? Become a founder. I think I'll probably just buy it on, I don't know if I'm gonna get this out released, but I'll pick it up at some stage. I did enjoy Rogue Trader, but CRPGs, apart from like Baldur's Gate, I'm not like super into them.
Worthy of my collection.
Oh no, it's a
Must
Necron.
be exceptional. A weapon that has seen the rise and fall.
Wait, I think
of
this is DLC for Rogue Trader.
A warrior who has rallied a world. A soul that is endured
Oh man, that guy has like
beyond
only robot
imagining.
arms.
Each exhibit a nexus moment of history. You think yourself significant. Arrogance. And misplaced arrogance
Oh, is
has
this-
ever
okay.
been a trait of your pitiful species.
Yes, it's just the Necron expansion
Still,
then.
there may be a place for a being of such lowly origins.
That's cool.
If it proves
It's really neat.
exceptional.
The Infinite Museum. Pretty cool. I'm actually really happy that we're seeing a lot of different varied factions in the Owlcat games. I just think that's really cool. Instead of it just being the same thing over and over again. More statues! This isn't video game related. See, we could see the Amazon thing on this. It's a Maximature. Blood Angel Intercessor Sergeant. These look cool. These are really neat. Not for me. I'm not really one into. I don't collect statues or anything. Oh yeah, and there's your orc. There's your orc. You know, rep. I'm not really into statues or anything like that. I like the miniatures. I love the miniatures, but not the. I don't know. I just don't collect like the. I've got a bunch of the Warhammer art on my walls, but aside from that. Oh, this is the orc racing game, right? The racing, the battle game. Big Stompa. Okay, that's really neat. I played a little bit of this. I played a little bit of this in beta, and I thought it was fun, but it just didn't really have. Like, I thought it was neat, but it's kind of multiplayer focused, and I just didn't think it had like enough to like kind of grab me in terms of its gameplay look. But I thought it was really neat. Definitely something a lot of people will enjoy.
Speed Freaks is out now on PlayStation 5 and Xbox
Speed
Series
Freaks.
X and S, with crossplay to race against gits on any platform. So now's the time to get stuck in, lads.
Nice.
Not only that, but the game now has a proper level editor. And
That's
workshop
cool.
Too, for the
That's
boys
very
and gits
cool.
who like a good
It's
custom
exactly what the
race.
game needed.
There's plenty of custom maps already in the
Custom
workshop
maps,
for
that's
you
cool.
to play. Just look at these beauties. The things that can happen playing custom maps with other gits in multiplayer.
I just
is
love the
so
craziness of this like orc stuff, dude. It's so cool. It's so
The
ramshackle.
Grots and Mech Boys have also been busy making gubbins for the wagons, with plenty of snazzy bits to make a custom
I love all the
vehicle.
orc vehicles. They look so good.
And let's not forget the pit bosses. They's also need snazzy gear to use. Looters and burner boys looking sharper than me chopper daisies. In Speed Freaks, yous can race all kinds of speedy and shooty wagons. Like the Boomdacker Snaz wagon, truck full of boys, and the zoom-in Death Copter.
Oh, cool. There's
Some
Death
of these
Copters now.
wagons
That's
is
new.
proper fast and cunning too. Just look at a Megatrack Scrapjack taking to the air, or the custom Booster Blaster blasting gits from above. And many wagons
I just love
use their
the idea
dash,
that this is what
which
orcs get
makes
up
them
to.
speedy
Just
in
when they're
any
off, you know?
direction.
When they're not
And
at
then
war.
the bigger wagons can get grots to repair them, and some can even smash really.
It would have been better with other
The
army
speediest
vehicles to play.
shoot till you
I
stand
agree,
smashing
but I
his
can't
gits
contrive a
will
reason
win
as to
in
why.
Death Rally.
Like,
Two
leaving Russ would
mobs
be
of
involved,
the
you know?
greenest orcs race to capture points and
Like, I wonder if it would have been
battle
cool
it
if it was just a vehicle
out. The
game
mob
that was
finishes
like
with the
battles,
biggest score
you know?
wins all the glory.
But I don't know. I think the
Then
vibe of it
there's
being just
the
like Mad
real
Max
fun.
World. You're just running around.
With big
Driving
stompers
around.
getting into battle,
Different vehicles. I
racing
think it's
each
cool.
other to the end of the map. This
just never really
is
stuck for me. I
Kill
just didn't really-
Convoy. Each mob has to protect their stomper while trying to bomb the enemy's one at the same time. Gits can get both.
Stompers
fun
are so
and
dumb looking.
brutal in this
I kinda
mode.
love that, though.
So watch yourself. And there it is. Speed Freaks is the orkiest game whatever was. All
It is an
you
orky
need
game.
now
You gotta give it that. It is a very
proper
orky game.
war.
Rocket League Orcs Edition, says Spurious. It's exactly what I was thinking. I feel like it was designed to top. Being a Gene Stealer cultist on a bike would have been pretty cool. Something big is landing on console. Wait, is this like Call of Duty? Is this like a Call of Duty tie-in? I have no idea what game this is. What the hell is this? I love Twisted Metal. Very. That's the thing that. Oh, what game is this? Twisted Metal, I think, was a very PlayStation 1 experience. I went back and played a bunch of PlayStation 1 games, and they feel so different from video games today, you know? They were just short, designed to just be fun to play in your living room. And I feel like Speed Freaks very much captures that same essence. PUBG? Rust? Wait, so no one knows. It's not a very dramatic trailer, is it? It's very, like... The music... there's something off about this trailer. It feels really, like, random. There's, like, no drama at all. Oh, guess he died. Wait, is that how chainswords work? I feel like they're more of a slashing weapon. Rust. Okay. Warhammer 40k pack is here. I don't play Rust. Yeah, that could have been any game, honestly. Maybe Rust fans will enjoy it, but I don't know. It just feels like cosmetics for Rust. Oh boy, merch discount. Hey, Cubicle 1's pretty cool though. They do a lot of RPGs. I've been meaning to try out the old world RPG. Apparently, that sounds kind of interesting. Yes, Fire Warrior! Fire Warrior mentioned. Yes. Alright, this is just an ad though, right? I play this every single day, says Jammy Jam Jam. They released this game pack for PC ages ago. They're just giving it to the consolers. Oh, that's even sadder then. That's like, eh. What is this? Oh. What? The hell am I looking at? Draft this here. What the? What's going on? Oh! Dude. Isn't this the card game like a DC game? Oh, Warhammer combat cards. I have never heard of this. Huh. Because I know there was a Warhammer 40k card game before that had been discontinued though. So it's weird that they're doing another one. I think it literally got discontinued like last month.
I'm the writer on the art of Warhammer video games. I think it's for art lovers, Warhammer enthusiasts, people that kind of want to know how is a video game developed. This is whole industry in
This
game
is cool.
studios
I do like these
producing
kind of totems,
masses of
these coffee
concept
table
art,
tables,
and that
coffee
doesn't always
table
get published.
tables,
There are
books.
a lot of art that never kind of gets to see the light of day. I think this book
I like digital card game,
allows
Oscar.
a lot of these games, and very
I don't really like the business model, but I enjoy them.
30 years old.
Like, I enjoy playing
So
them. I loved
you get to
Hearthstone
open
when
the
it first
door
came out.
and
I was a
find
big
some of
fan
the
of
art,
it.
which
I like
may
card
have been
games
sat in
though.
a
I
dusty
enjoy
drawer
all sorts of different
decades.
card games. I just love shuffling and drawing cards and playing them. I don't know. Intrinsically, I just really enjoy playing card games. I love the variants in it. More Necrons. Man, I really love Necrons these days. When I was a young child, Necrons were a niche army. Terminators.
We have called you to our
Oh, this is going to be that tech
experience
free
with
scam,
Xenos,
right?
known as Necrons.
I have seen
There's
how
a
they fight.
turn-based
With the
strategy.
Messiah's grace, I can predict their tactics. Our legions are responding to the protocols of awakening. They gather.
I played this a little bit. I'm not like super into tech priests as a faction, you know. Mechanicus. Yeah, Mechanicus.
I am accompanied by a retinue.
Target acquired. Execution
I play a little bit of
doctrines in effect.
Xenonauts too, though. I
All
thought that's pretty fun.
specialists.
Whereas this feels more like modern XCOM comparison.
Destroy. All worthy of my trust.
That's cool.
Such base and benighted creatures.
Spirits Mister says, I just don't care about fighting Necrons at all, and I kind of agree. I find Necrons a bit boring. I think they're
Let us become
okay,
death
but
and
I don't know.
scour them
I
from
never really
this
connected with
place.
Necrons that much. I just don't think
Claim what is ours from this
they're just they're not my jam.
You find yourself in a complex situation. Kin of the Votan.
Oh, the Votan. What are you doing here? Is this the first time we've seen Votan in a video game?
The kin have their own
Wow.
objectives, Megastar.
Okay, interesting.
Mercy, they do not understand the hopelessness of their fight.
That's cool. I like seeing the Votan in a game. That's kind of neat. It's starting to feel like a real faction now, you know?
By the machine god and the
Oh, it comes out
motive
today.
force. No logic shall.
By all means, Faustinius, try to destroy me. Here, my history begins a new chapter, and yours comes.
I can't understand what they're saying because they have the voice of pain. Pain. The Mechanicus have got to go. Don't mind me, I'll just put my Necron army away dice this time for. I have some Necrons, but I started collecting them whenever it was like 5th edition, so it was the the previous iteration of them. I think Necrons are super popular. They're just not like super.
This face.
I'm not like super into that. Were those Eldar as well? Oh, I missed Eldar. I missed the Eldar. Who's laughing? Who's laughing in space? I think it looks cool. I'll probably buy it later on sale at some stage. Probably not a release game for me, but it looks interesting. It's kind of cool to see Votan. Eldar would be neat as well. I just would like to see more. It looks like you can play
Next,
as
we have something from a studio that has been a regular
priests
fixture on the show
and
for the last few years. And this year,
Necrons, which is neat.
super excited about being involved in one of their games, and you'll be able to play it sooner than you think.
Oh, okay. What's that? What's going on? Come on, show me the money.
Peggy 7.
Show me the money. Peggy 7. Oh. What is this? Is this Bolt Gun 2? Or is this a new game? Oh! Oh, this is, Warhammer Survivors. Yeah. Neat. This is a weirdly fun game. I really enjoyed Vampire Survivors. Wait, so they're doing fantasy and 40k? Wait, and Age of Sigmar? They're doing them all? What? It looks like everything. That's cool. That's really neat. Vampire Survivors was strangely addictive. So it's really cool to see like the Warhammer iterations of them. What a strange game though. You just walk around and you just pick up new guns and weapons and just hope that it can help you survive. Oh, there's a demo out now. Excellent. I shall check that out, I think, after the stream. Not as good as Pickled Pete, though, says Jammy Jam Jam.
Peggy
Definitely
18.
not. 18. Interesting. Oh, here we go. This is Bolt Gun 2, right? This is it. Oh, you can play as a Space Marine in Bolt Gun 2? Liam. Make it Sister in Battle. You gotta go Sister in Battle. Come on. Does look fun.
The wicked shall fall.
Gotta purge those heretics. But I do love the vibe. I love the vibe of Bolt Gun. I think it's just really fun. Classic, good old wholesome Warhammer fun. Oh, the voice acting in this is incredible. They remind me a lot of like the Dawn of War voice acting. Chaos Space Marines sound great. That's a lot of plague. Nice. Then the game looks cool. The game looks cool. I kind of love the fact that boomer shooters are back now. I'm liking it. It was a while in the wilderness there. Now the boomer shooters are back. Yes. Why are they called boomer shooters? Should be Gen X shooters. X shooters. I guess it doesn't roll off the tongue. I'm really happy they're doing the Sister of Battle, though, in the sequel. I'm really glad about that, because I'm going to play the shit out of it. Mobile iteration of it. I hope that means that you just pay once and you're done. Premium experience. Just like a regular video game on the PC. I do remember Duke Nukem, and I remember waiting for the newest one for a long time.
As you know, Bolt Gun 2 is doubling up the firepower this time around with a new playable character, Naira Verath. I had the absolute honor of voicing this incredibly cool battle sister of the Adeptus Sororitas, who joins the battle alongside returning character.
I don't forget about the Gen X. I don't forget about Gen X.
I have done a fair bit of voice acting over the last 7 or so years, but getting to play Naira is especially surreal for me. I've been reading Warhammer books since I was about 13, and I just never imagined that I would get to have any part in this universe, so she's just extra special to me, and I really hope that you all love her as much as
I hope it has a better level design than one
right now,
Experience.
since the Bolt Gun 2 demo is officially available to play on Steam. Go check it out. But after you finish watching Skulls, obviously, since we're basically just getting started.
We are just getting started. What more? Like, I mean, they're gonna... Battle State, I keep hearing people talk. I've not really played a lot of it. I haven't really... It seems like it's something I'd be interested in. But I'm not sure. Has anyone played battle sector. Because it feels like a Warhammer 40k game. You've just got your force. You've got on one side of the field. From the little I've played, it just seems okay. It feels like you just march across from one end of the battle to the other and you just shoot the person in front of you. It's like one of those strategy games where it's more about knowing which units are stronger against other enemy units. You know, trying to get counters. Ooh, free to try. There you go. Oh, the Ultramarines, an entire new faction, right? That's the second game now that's like selling a specific chapter of Space Marines as a really distinctive element of the game, which I'm not the biggest fan of, because the Dawn of War 4, they're doing the same thing where they're saying the Dark Angels, they're kind of like selling them as like a sub-faction, you know? And a sub-faction is better than new faction. For a while, I thought they were actually, what's this? Shadow of the Horned Rat, Final Liberation, Chaos Gate, Dark Omen, Rise of War, Fire Warrior. Oh wait, okay. Sorry, I thought we were getting like a sequel to Shadow of the Horned Rat or something. God. Okay, they're just coming back.
Legends
well,
were
you can still buy them on GOG right now. That's not
ages.
some of them are not classic games. Some of those are modern, normal games.
Today, we celebrate them.
Mark of Chaos was kind of fun, if I remember. I remember playing it, but I never really got hooked onto it. At least 3 of those are good games. Fire Warrior, obviously an incredible game. It's an absolutely bizarre game. So strange. Wait, Corsair? I've never even seen that. I feel like some of these are not like the others. Like Dawn of War 2? What the fuck? Dawn of War 2 isn't classic. Dawn of War 2 is... I play it right now. I play it all the time.
Timeless video games return.
Some of those games were not timeless. Let's all be real about that.
Warhammer Classics. Available now on Steam.
So what a weird way to bundle it, huh? Okay, so there's a big bundle of like all the. But is there anything done with them? Or are they just gonna be? Because lots of these games are still available to buy. Is there any changes being made? Are they being HD'd up so the resolution will fit the screens? Because if not, I think it's gonna be stuff. Oh, what's this? Galactic War, critical. What is this? I'm getting a mobile game vibe from this one. I'm getting a mobile game vibe from this one. Hellpods Primed. Wait, is this Helldivers 2? Oh my god, it is. Universes Beyond!
Hello everyone, I am Mikael Eriksson, game director of Helldivers 2. Today I am very excited to announce a collaboration between Helldivers 2 and Warhammer 40,000 for an upcoming
it was very
legendary
obvious that the people behind Helldivers were massive Warhammer fans.
Helldivers 2 is a high-octane,
like,
4-player
looking at the
co-op
faction
shooter
design between
where
like
you
the robots.
fight as a Helldiver for democracy and the glory of Super Earth. Your mission? To liberate the galaxy from evil, oppressive aliens threatening our
I like
way
Helldivers
of
too. I think it's really cool. It's a really fun
At
game.
Arrowhead, we believe these two worlds fit perfectly together. And as a studio full of die-hard Warhammer fans, we are beyond thrilled to see this legendary warbond come to life.
Yeah, you can tell that
we look forward
they play
to revealing
Imperial Guard.
more later this year. And until then, we'll see you all on the battlefield.
So they're saying collaboration. It's a legendary warbond. Is it just gonna be like Warhammer armors in Helldivers? I actually don't like that.
How cool is that? Warhammer 40,000 pairing with Helldivers 2.
I don't like that collab. I feel like it undermines like the aesthetics of Helldivers. Like Helldivers has a really cool aesthetic to it. I feel like it's gonna just there's gonna be people running around in Space Marine armor. It's gonna feel weird. They should just make a Warhammer Helldivers game, right? Like just make
in the grim darkness of the far future,
right? And just make a Warhammer 40k Helldivers game. I think there would be a big market. People would love that.
And on the distant world,
yeah, that's why it's being called a legendary warbond.
It reignites once more.
Or warbond.
A world scarred by ages past.
Is this Dawn of War? We learned Dawn of War. Is that what's happening?
Long forgotten. 4 armies.
Oh, this looks like Dawn of War. There it is.
The Space Marines.
Show me gameplay.
The Adeptus Mechanicus. The Orcs. The Necrons.
Show me gameplay, and then reveal Imperial Guard as a faction, and I will be so happy.
Annihilation.
Because none of the factions really speak to me right now. September 17th. Okay, here we go. Release date's big. Nice.
War does not end with a single campaign.
Oh, okay.
Over time, the conflict deepens.
Oh, what's this?
Beginning this fall, with Crusade mode.
Okay, I found that. Living campaign, conquest. That sounds
every
cool.
decision matters.
Big
Every
fan.
victory reshapes the battlefield, and every loss echoes across the war. Build your army. Dominate the map. Command leaders and armies. On Cronus, the war never ends.
Okay, cool.
Then Crusade and Last Stand
Oh, I hope there's
grow
enough maps in
deadlier
this game.
with the addition of Lord Armnock and Guzcutter. Forge, play, and share your own battles with the mission editor.
I'm glad that they're showing that there's going to be a lot of support for the game.
World of the Blood Ravens, where ancient
What's this?
relics
Hold on.
ignite
Is this
deadly new conflicts.
Make.
And finally, the war is reborn. A new campaign, a new force rises. One planet, endless war.
Okay, I hope this new faction is a faction I like.
Only victory.
Imperial Guard, Sisters Battle, Desealer Cultist, come on. Because right now I am sort of like struggling with factions. I like orcs, but right now I think I end up playing a lot of the Space Marines, which is a very sad thing to say, but I think I'll play a lot of Space Marines, honestly. But it really depends on like how the factions play. I kind of like Necron in Dawn of War 1, but it was okay. Well, it looks like, I don't know if we're going to see any actual gameplay of the game, which is kind of sad. I was kind of hoping to see gameplay at Dawn of War, but I like that Conquest map mode. That sounds really cool. I love Conquest modes. I really do. So that looks really neat. Yeah, where's there no Eldar for, Buzzkid? Like, where's the Eldar in Dawn of War? That's wild. The narrator does have a very good Shakespeare voice. What is this cute little boy? What's going on here? What's happening? What's going on with this? Oh god, they're like little chibi characters. I kind of like the orc one. He's kind of cute, but yeah. You'd love a real Lost in the Damned faction. I would adore that. A Trader Guard would be an amazing. Imagine that as a faction. Oh, a chair. For the lion. No, this isn't for me, I don't think. A really expensive chair. If it was good to sit on, I'd be down for it. Funko Pop Boo, says Freaky Fox. What's this now? God, there's been a lot of Necrons, hasn't there? I really feel like Necrons got a massive glow up with the Indomitus starter set. I feel like a lot of people joined Warhammer through Indomitus and ended up playing. We got a ton of like, not everybody's got Necrons. Necrons are in everything. It's just really weird. It's like, think about it this way. I haven't seen Chaos once, I don't think. Apart from like a couple of times in the Dark Heresy trailer. A couple of like Trader Guard. I think I saw a demon or two. Oh, I guess we saw him in the bolt gun. But like, there's been a lot more. Okay, and Chaos is literally showing up. But man, there's a lot of Necron stuff happening. There really is. These chairs are outrageously expensive. $600? My chair that I have right now, it cost me £15. I bought a second-hand chair. But I guess I'm not. There's just no money in critique, I guess. Join the... What game is this? Does anyone know this game? I don't know this game at all. It looks like a mobile game to me. Oh god, it's Cyrus. Hey! Wait, these are Blood Ravens then. What the heck? Oh, Tacitus. Tacitus or Tacticus? Tacticus? Tacitus. Tacticus. Sister Battle! Yes, okay, I'm in. I'm in. It's done. It's over. I'm in. Sister Battle. Oh, wait, what the heck? Oh, this is like Warhammer Plus. Oh, you got me, Games Workshop! You know I love Sister Battle. What's going on?
Only chance to atone.
Is that from that new Sister of Battle show?
Welcome to this new series of Trazen Tesseract Trials.
Arena of Death. I don't know, my problem with the problem with Warhammer Plus is just that I can watch battle reports on YouTube for free. It's just, and they're taking away content that we would have seen on YouTube, and now it's going on to Warhammer Plus. But like, really rarely, this doesn't seem to be much content ever.
Detail everywhere. It's just awesome.
And these paint things should just be on the YouTube channel to help people
Pick one of the
paint, you
three
know?
brushes. Excellent. That's the only brush you can use for the next hour.
Oh.
How about more goddamn animations, GW? Yeah, I feel like animations should be like the main thing that people are there for. I really do. I feel like the animation should be like why people like subscribe, and it just doesn't seem to do as much of it. This is cool. Warhammer Fantasy End.
Swear the oath anew.
End units, right? The Tiger Man.
The Tiger Court stands
How cool is
within
that?
Grand Cathay.
Wait, hold on. It's within
Sworn ally to
Cathay.
the Iron Dragon of the Western
I know that they are
provinces.
fighting for
In
Cathay as
exchange,
mercenaries, but I always thought that the
Cathay's
Tiger
enemies
Man of
become
Warhammer
our
Fantasy were
prey.
in End. Or an End faction. It's also vague.
Mortal.
This is really cool. I can't believe what they've done with Total War Warhammer 3. Like, they've just gone way further than I thought they would ever go. I never thought we'd see Cathay or Kislev, and now look at it. Cathay in Warhammer Fantasy. It's fucking crazy. There's actual miniatures now. It's so wild. I really hope they keep expanding this. I'd love to see End next. But yeah, Tiger Man. This is probably the first DLC for Total War Warhammer that I've been excited for in a while.
The Tiger Warriors.
Like, this is neat. It's really cool to finally see Tiger Warriors in, like, wow. Like, I remember reading, like, really, like, tiny snippets of lore about them. Kitty, says Freaky Fox. Okay, what's this? It's the second trailer to start this way, FYI, but let's see. I think this one might be Total War Warhammer.
Swarm across our world. The hives, the regions.
They are doing a Helldivers Warhammer crossover, yeah.
The planet, the entire subsector.
I think they should do a game. I think they should do a full fucking game of Helldivers Warhammer. I think a Helldivers Warhammer edition would be sick.
This world belongs to humanity. We will drive the invaders back, and this old man.
Oh, this is Yarrick?
Will pay for every
Ooh, a cogitator screen.
taken upon Armageddon. The Emperor demands it. I demand it.
Okay. What is this? Is this Total War Warhammer? Is it taking place on Armageddon? Guys, we really need to get some Armageddon Steel Legion if we're gonna keep doing things on Armageddon. We really need to see the Steel Legion. That can't be everything for Total War Warhammer 40k. I need to see more! I need to see more. I need gameplay. No, I don't want to see a record. I don't want to see records of the soundtrack. I want to see gameplay of Total War Warhammer. I really hope we see more from Total War Warhammer. I hope that's not everything. Really? Like... I think Darktide has a fantastic soundtrack. Darktide, I think, is my favorite soundtrack out of any Warhammer game. Otherwise, I find a lot of soundtracks for Warhammer kind of generic, honestly. Because I listen to a lot of them when I'm playing games. Like, when I'm playing, like, Warhammer 40k, I'll put on soundtracks for games. And I feel like the best one is Darktide. It's very rare that I would listen to any others.
We have lost contact with the Mechanicus facility
Space
in
Marine
the
2.
Kadaku swamps. Purge the Xenos and reclaim the facility.
Free update. This, I like the words free.
Seek out the remaining eyes.
Man, I think that my big problem with Warhammer Space Marine 2 is that it feels like a lot of effort to get a game going with it. You gotta like go onto the little ship and then you gotta like go sign up and stuff. I wish you could just from the menu go join game or, you know, new game. It just feels like it's a lot of effort to like go from one mission to the next.
We put an end to this together.
A practice arena. They just keep like a shit ton of Tyranids in the bowels of the ship and then just release them into the arena every so often.
War machines of the Emperor. Efficient, deadly.
More cosmetics. It's fine.
Steel yourselves, brothers.
What is it to be a space marine?
This game is so overwhelming, I might have PTSD for the first level, says Oscar. There are a lot of Tyranids on the go with this game, yeah. I love it though. I think that's really cool. Like they really managed to depict Tyranids as like just this overwhelming fucking thing. Just so many of them.
Our mission calls us to Avarax.
VR, huh?
A world
I want to be a space marine. Okay. There was a VR Sister of Battle game. Oh wait, this is like, I think this is like an event. I don't even think this is just for like a video game. That guy had the look of a psychopath when he was told he could have a flamethrower. I mean, book 9. Where can you even do this? Where can you even do this? Fat Shark. Here we go. Yep, this is it. Oh! Please be like... Please be something other than Skitarii. I think it'd be really funny. People would lose their mind. Oh, everyone's so slender in this. Please be Imperial Pilot class. That'd be incredible. Valkyrie, that's the new class. Valkyrie class, I would love it. Yeah, this is a tech priest. I hope it's tech priest and not Skitarii. Blue Flame, looking pretty tech priesty. This is Darktide. Really cool shooter game. I really like it. Oh, there it is. So it is a Skitarii. And it's a Skitarii. Fine. Oh, you all get what you wanted. You get your dream. People beg for this. There was so much hate. Now it's happening. I hope it's fun though. I hope it's cool. But it will be nothing on my Hive Scum class. I still prefer Hive Scum.
If I would have to describe the Skitarii class in one word, I would probably say cryptic.
Cryptic?
The class that I've been wanting to make for years.
Fantasy pleasing.
The hype is real.
The hype is real. People are really hyped for Skitarii.
My name is Victor Magnusson. I'm the design director for Darktide. So the inspiration for bringing Skitarii to Darktide
Show me gameplay.
Was actually, it was one of the first classes we ever imagined, or it was part of the sort of initial ideas when we started talking about classes for Darktide. Mechanicus, something Mechanicus related was always on top of it.
I think they should have just done Tech Priest, honestly.
Mechanicus themed, we always wanted to.
I think that they should have just done Tech Priest, because I mean, what is it? Skitarii's like the rifleman, right? I've actually never. No one I know collects Tech Priest, like collects the Mars at all. So my most exposure is like the Tech Priest and the Imperial Guard faction, basically. So
a variety of roles.
The Skitarii are just riflemen, right?
We've tried to make.
They're like kind of like the soldiery. But I think a Tech Priest would have been cooler. I feel like it's going to be much of a muchness. I suspect that Skitarii just does all the Tech Priest stuff.
Towards a certain purpose, we want the players to be able to build their characters towards certain purposes as well, and these purposes could fit any role, basically.
My name is Matte Rusk, and I'm art director here on Darktide. Staying true to...
Darktide must be doing quite well. They're getting a lot of time in this, right? Is that going to be everything for Warhammer Total War? I'm really concerned that that's the case.
I don't see that as a...
I feel like the Skitarii fits better with the current classes in Darktide. Tech Priest is more of an elite. Really, I don't view the Tech Priest as an elite. Really, I guess they kind of are, but I always just view them as like a class in Dark Heresy. I guess like I see them alongside
the lore right now,
because there's lots of Tech Priests around. You know, like the Tech Priests are like the most mundane basic bitch boys of the Imperium. Like, they do all the mechanical stuff. Like, they repair all the weapons and the tanks and the vehicles and stuff.
And I'm the executive producer on
One of my
Darktide.
big problems with, like, modern Warhammer, I guess, TM, is that I feel like the Tech Priests of Mars they have lost a lot of the juice that made them so interesting in previous iterations of the setting.
Really brings it down into their grimy world.
Used to be that, like, they were way more religious, and it just feels more scientist now, like kooky scientist. I'm not as big a fan of that. But I am interested in seeing Skitarii in the game. Probably not a class I'll actually pick up, though. I'm not sure how interested I am in actually playing as Skitarii. But more grist for my hive scum is always good. I do like the fact that you've got a little servo skull flying around, though. That's kind of neat. That's kind of cool. That's kind of neat. What's next? What even is there now? Is that it over? Is there anything else? There's another 15 minutes. World premiere! Something new. Something entirely new. Okay. Skiven. What is this? I love me some Skiven. Show me Skiven.
Escapes cage, Vinny kills, slays, Vinegar sends, Vinegar escapes cage, Vinny kills, slays, Vinegar sends, Vinegar escapes cage, Vinny kills, slays, Vinegar sends, Vinny will be Death Master.
Okay. I'm digging it. What's going on? Death Master. Hey, it is an Age of Sigmar game. Oh, what is this? Is this like a side-scroller assassin game? He sure loves killing. What is that, though? Skiven are neat, but it's like, okay. Oh, another world premiere. Are we just getting premieres now? Is that a 18. Oh, little Gene Stealer guys. They just want hugs. They just want hugs. Give them little hugs.
Threatens our worlds, our lives, our Imperium.
Oh, Todd, orcs. Gene Stealer cultists. Why? Hold on, Gene Stealer cultists. What are you doing here? You never get to see Gene Stealer cultists.
And with hatred, we make our vow.
Well, they're just throwing everybody in. Oh, it's Death Watch. Nice. Death Watch, huh? Interesting. I don't know what Chaos get. Is it another top-down strategy game? But it's got Gene Stealer cultists in it. I'm down, dude.
They scatter before the fury of the Death Watch.
It's kind of weird to see, like, orcs and Tyranids and stuff alongside the Tau, because the Tau just feel like a modern army. You know, like, Tau, I would argue, are way more strategic than Space Marines, so it feels weird for Death Watch to be hunting Tau, when really Tau should be, like, flying above them and drones shooting at them, you know? They are not showing enough gameplay in these trailers. I agree, Kind. I agree. Gene Stealer cults!
10 years, but also considering this incredible lineup of new reveals, I've got so many games to wishlist and a Balkan 2 demo to play. Plus, don't forget about the week-long sales. It is a good time to be a Warhammer video game fan. Of course, you can learn more about any of the games featured in today's showcase.
It's like the XCOM 2, Demon Gates with Grey Knights was the first one. Okay, cool. So this one's gonna be Death Watch. The thing about Xenos hunting is that you get way more varied gameplay, because like every single alien faction is so different compared to like Demon Gate. No one invited Ty, they should go. Is that it? Oh, okay. What do we think about that? What's our thoughts? What's our thoughts? I'm gonna say, disappointing, honestly. I was kind of hoping for, like, at the beginning of this, I did say, give me Total War, Warhammer gameplay, or give me death. So, oh shit. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Not great for me. Not great for me. I guess I gotta take the death. Yeah, no Blood Bowl. No Blood Bowl. No gameplay, really, for Total War Warhammer. I did like the Dawn of War 4 reveal. The Dawn of War 4 reveal that there was gonna be this new Crusade mode, that's cool. I'm really into that. I'm really into the Dawn of War 4 Crusade mode. I love my big map-based campaigns. I just fucking, there's something in my brain that just goes wild at the idea of coloring in a map a certain color. Yeah, I'm like, yeah. So that's cool. I'm into that, but I would have loved to have seen gameplay of Dawn of War 4. I would have loved to have seen, like, I was kind of hoping, firstly, it said 55 minutes long, so we're 10 minutes. We got robbed of 10 minutes, and in those 10 minutes, we could have seen a gameplay match between Eldar, no, not Eldar, the tech priests, and the Mechanicus, and orcs. We'll say orcs. Maybe they would have done Space Marines for orcs. Let's be real. Spirits Fury says, honestly, I like the Speed Freaks is getting expansions and crossplay. I might have actually go pick that up now. I like the custom. It sounds cool for Speed Freaks. There's like custom maps and stuff. Someone mentioned Twisted Metal. It really is just Twisted Metal, but in like the modern day. But a lot of like it's sold as just like a £20 package or whatever, and off you pop. I think custom maps are exactly what that game needs. I think that's really cool. But yeah, that's cool. I like to see the Dark Heresy game. I'm looking forward to that from Oilcat. But you know, aside from that, really, there wasn't really a ton. I don't think. Like the premieres were all. There was like some new games announced, but what was it? A Vermintide game, or sorry, a Skaven game where we didn't even see any gameplay, and then Chaos game, which I honestly never really played before. So. Yeah, you know, I'm looking forward to Dawn of War 4. I genuinely am really hyped for Dawn of War 4. People are skeptical of the game, but I believe in it. I'm a little bit nervous from certain elements of the trailers. It looks a little bit. It has a little bit of that mobile game sheen. You know what I'm talking about? The animations or something. I don't know what it is. Something about the art design or whatever. It just doesn't look quite. I wish it looked a little bit more gritty, but. You gotta keep units looking distinct on the screen, you know, for like strategy games. So I kind of get why they're doing it, but still. Dawn of War 4 reveals look great and got me more excited. Dark Heresy is gonna rock, but I need more 40k RPGs and MMOs. Yeah, I was kind of hoping that we'd get like a crazy reveal, like some sort of like MMO or a Battlefield game, like a Battlefront Warhammer game. The Helldiver collab with Warhammer I think it's just gonna be, people are asking about that. I think it's just gonna be microtransaction like aesthetics. There's probably gonna be some bolt guns in it though, right? Like there's gonna be, because the war bonds that they do, they use that to sell cosmetics, but also to sell like weapons and things. I doubt there's gonna be any vehicles. I feel like that would be big, but yeah, I don't know. Like, I actually don't like the idea of putting Warhammer into other stuff. Certainly not Helldivers. I'm a big fan of Helldivers. I think that the setting of Helldivers is pretty cool, and I think it's pretty distinctive. Clearly they were inspired by Warhammer. Like, you've got the aliens, which are kind of halfway between the bugs from Starship Troopers and the Tyranids. You've got the robots, you know, which were kind of a little bit Necron-y. But it's just, it feels very sci-fi, you know? You've got the aliens that are very, I can't remember what they're called, like the little purple ones, the Voteless. And they're a little bit like Eldar. So obviously, like, you can see little iterations of it, and like, obviously it's a fascist kind of dystopian hellscape that humans live within. So you can kind of see, you know, it's part of this grand sci-fi tradition, but it's a strong setting. And I don't know whether or not I would want, like, Space Marines running around that setting. Like, if I'm playing Helldivers, I'm playing as a Helldiver, and then a Space Marine runs past me, I'm like, oh yeah. I don't know, it just feels unimmersive, like it would take me out of the game. What I think would be cool would be a Warhammer Helldiver game. A game where you play as, like, well, people would be like, I want to play Space Marines. I think I would prefer playing as, like, Imperial Guard, like Elysian Drop Troops or something would be sick. But yeah, because Helldivers really does get that like feel that you're behind enemy lines in a big war. Honestly, Helldivers feel more like Space Marines should be, you know, like where they drop pod in and they just go hit like certain very specific objectives and then get the hell out. Busky says, Dawn of War 4 reveals look great and got me more excited. Yeah, Oscar says, hell, they could have done a Power Wash Simulator game. That would have been really cool. I've never played Power Wash Simulator, so... Spiritus Mysterious says, that's probably the one bit of news that hit me, that hit for me out of all of it. The rest of it I already knew or just didn't care. There just wasn't a lot of, like, new stuff, I think. The Dawn of War stuff was cool. It was cool to hear about what's coming up. And I guess they definitely have a timeline for a new faction, so we're not going to be, like, in a Dawn of War 3 situation where the game launches, everybody hits it, and then the game just kind of dies. It sounds like they do have a lot of support planned, which is kind of neat. Okay, that's kind of cool. I hope that the next faction is one that I really play. I think, obviously, if you're somebody who plays Mechanicus, you like Mechanicus, I'm so happy for you. I'm glad that you get a faction in the game. If you're somebody that loves Necrons, I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. That you get your faction in the game. But I want one of my factions, please. I would like... I'm not happy for Space Marine players. They get everything. They're fine. I'm not happy for you at all. I think there shouldn't have been Space Marines, actually. I just want Imperial Guard or, like, Genestealer Cultists or Sisters of Battle or something. That'd be really cool. Or Dark Eldar. Imagine if they just did Dark Eldar. That'd be kind of cool, you know? Dark Eldar never get a look in at all. They never get a look in. Where's my look in? And the last time we saw Dark Eldar in Dawn of War was like the pre-refresh that they got in 2010. So it's kind of like the older version of Dark Eldar, and it's not as cool in my opinion. So yeah, I'd like to see some Dark Eldar. Freaky Fox says, I play Toy. I'm used to being ignored. Ignored? Hey, we got to see Fire Warrior like 3 times in that show. Okay? You got your video game. You got Fire Warrior in 2004. You'd be happy with that. Yeah, I know how you feel. I know how you feel. Can I play as a turn at Spore Mine, says Jammy Jam Jam. Boy, that would be fun. Helldiver Miniatures, says Daryl M. We might see it. I don't think Games Workshop would do it, but I could see Helldivers getting a game. I know there's a fan game out there and they have the audacious plan of just existing. They've created a bunch of Helldiver miniatures. They have a game set around it, and they just call it like Helldivers, and they're just really hopeful that the guys over at whoever it is that makes Helldivers will see the game and be like, I like this game, we'll buy it. And you know, I think it's good luck to them, basically. Good luck. I don't know if that will happen, but good luck to them. Mechanicus is definitely a fun game, and I don't really care about Necrons and Mechanicus, it says Busket RVA. No, I mean, I don't think you have to care that much about... Like, I play a lot of games where I play Space Marines. And you know, like I play Space Marine 2, for example. I think that's cool. Wouldn't it be crazy if they brought back Dark Eldar? Kidding, kidding, kidding. It's just a joke. You know, unless... I agree, 50 Cal. Let's bring them back. Let's bring them back. There's an official Helldivers miniatures board game, says Dan Haven. Yeah, so there are some minis out there. I feel like you could do a war game. I don't know how much scope there is. Like once you go through, there's like 4 factions in the game, I guess, right? The fan game for Helldivers, I know, is like a co-op game, and that's what yeah, it's like a cooperative kind of game. But I can see it being like a competitive, like not competitive, but you know, adversarial game as well. I can see it being an adversarial game as well. So what do we think? Yay or nay? Let's see. Oh, hold on. I'm trying to. Yay or nay? Warhammer SKULLS 2026. What do we think? What do we think? Yay or nay? Can we vote mid? Says Freaky Fox. No, I want yes or no. There has to be one or the other. You have to, one or the other. One or the other. It has to be, right? We have to. There can be no middle ground. Centrism is dead. You must choose. And you gotta choose correctly or else it's the wall for you. Straight to the wall. So make sure you vote the right way. And I'm not gonna tell you which way the right way is yet. You gotta find out. Yeah, so I think the Total War 4 stuff was cool. I just wish there had a little bit more. I was really disappointed in the Total War Warhammer. Like there was nothing. It was like literally nothing. It was just like, hey, it exists. Remember that? Blah. That was kind of sad. Yeah, I don't know if I left that thinking like, hey, there's... Yeah, I don't know if I left that like stream at all thinking, like, feeling like it was revelatory, really. I think Total War's the closest one. Ooh, a loss of innocence pulse. Sweet, says 50 cal. Yeah. Busket says mid, but I'll go yay because it wasn't mostly mobile crap, and I think that's definitely something to note. There wasn't too many like mobile game stuff there, whereas I feel like with a lot of Warhammer Skulls events, that there often is just a ton, just an absolute ton of like mobile games and stuff. I don't think we didn't get it. Yeah, I didn't hit it either. I think I'm gonna vote for yay. I'm gonna vote yay. Oh, but we're... Surprisingly few Space Marines in mobile games means to consider yay for me, despite everything, like there was genuine variety, says Spirits Machinery. I think that's very fair. New stuff is always cool, but nothing here has me excited to fill Urbanek. Yeah, I think if I was Alliance Centrism, I would go with a mid, but I'm not Alliance Centrism. You're straight to the wall. You gotta say yay or nay. Looks like Nay's winning, though. People are... Nay is winning. What's happened to Dark Eldar? I feel like Dark Eldar are in limbo right now. We're just not seeing them in anything. I know that they were in one of the Oilcat games. Like they were in the Dark Heresy, or the Rogue Trader game, I think, at some stage. So that was kind of cool. They showed up in the trailer anyway. It did feel very oddie this year, I think. It felt like there was a lot of just like little trailers being like, this thing is coming, you know? I am aware that the show is mostly just ads for games that are coming out, but I was kind of hoping for like substantive. Like Total War 4 was like, hey, there's all this stuff coming out, and I thought that was cool. And I would have liked to have seen that for like other games. Like even the Helldivers collab was just like, there's a thing coming. They didn't say what it was. The Skitarii reveal for Darktide, which I think everybody saw Skitarii coming. Even that didn't like show any gameplay at all, so I just feel like there could have been more gameplay, could have been more like meat on the bones that could have been shown. Rogue Trader, yes, and Eldar are in both Trader and Dark Heresy. So that's neat. Skitarii and Darktide, let's go. Dark Eldar for 13th edition starter set. Let's make it happen, people. I want to see the Dark Eldar 13th edition starter set. Let's make it happen, please, for the love of God. I'm going to be ending the poll in 3, 2, 1. We ended on yay. No, we didn't. We ended on 50-50. Yay and nay. Wow. Damn, we got mid. We got mid in the end. We voted mid. God damn it, people. Right, everyone to the wall. That's it. Everyone to the wall. Straight to the wall. I was really hoping just to see more content, really, to be honest. So that was okay. Yeah. I don't have a revelatory this was. Well, everybody, that was fun. Thank you very much for joining me today on the live stream reveal. I'm going to be calling it there. However, I will be streaming again soon, before UKGE, which is next week. So I will be streaming again soon, focus more on wargaming topics and things like that. So do check to keep an eye out. Thank you very much. Yeah, circular firing squad time. Everybody circle around an open fire. Thank you everybody for joining me. Thanks to everybody who super chatted. It really helps out the channel. It really does. And it keeps these streams going too, because they take out a lot of time for me. I really need to be working on my next video. I need a video to be out by next Wednesday. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, God. God, UKG is really cropped up on me. out of nowhere. So damn Warhammer Skulls, I didn't have the time for this. But thank you very much, everybody, for joining me today. I hope you had a lot of fun. Thanks to everybody who like chatted and hung out. I had a blast. So thanks very much. And I'm loving all the emojis now of like little people between walls. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. But I gotta eat, and we'll find some space to talk about some war game things. Thanks very much, everybody. Thank you for joining as an advocate there, Freaky Fox. Became a member. Thank you very much. With membership, you get access to all sorts of fun little emojis. And I've been doing streams now. I've been doing streams like once every couple of weeks. And I'm gonna be keeping that going. I'm gonna be keeping that going. But we're gonna be streaming again. I'm gonna try and get another stream in before UKGE. I definitely am. Thank you for the super chat, Busket. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. You guys are so kind. I really appreciate it. So I will catch you all again soon. Look forward to the next video. We'll be in Dungeons and Discourse talking about the subscription fee model coming to Dungeons and Dragons. Not a fan. But yeah, it turns out the mares have it, as Oscar says. Thanks, everybody. I'll catch you all next time. No, I gotta do the slide out here. Let's see. Oh, wait. Oh, did I get a stream? I got a little thing. Hold on. Let me try this.